My notes. I have some notes on some new characters I need to whip up. Preferably without leaving the channel this time. Umbral Knight. I need a Dark Region Sentinel. So, salutations everybody, my name is Phil, aka JCServant. Welcome to another City of Heroes stream.
Alright, the website's working again.
And all is well with the world. Whew. Welcome if you're just joining us. Oh yeah. Let's pull up Umbral. Oh wait, are you telling me I didn't actually save his outfit? You gotta be kidding me. Ah, goodness gracious. I didn't save Umbral Knight's outfit. I do like Umbral Knight's outfit. It's not bad for a 5-10 minute job. Only 32 characters. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, forget it. Alright, so we're making a couple new characters here. These are actually revamps of old characters already made. Alright, and I do like to just kind of whip them out real quick and get them level 2 real quick. Usually by beating up some things around here. Oh, dang that with this fence. Oh, good grief. His biggest hurdle at the start of the career was the fence.
The fence.
The fence. He got hung up on the fence. Anything but the fence. Wow, you're not a very nice bad guy. Uh-oh, I got a mouse issue.
What mouse issue?
Well, apparently one of the buttons I pressed was the DPI button. And that button is different than what it used to be on the old mouse.
Nghĩ là thuộc chưa? Như có một cuốn rồi. Mới chuyển được cầm tự là để chiến coi đấy.
唔係啊，係你整到咁樣啊。
Alright, I figured it out. Whew, we got mouse control back, boys. Disaster averted. Disaster averted. I could have swore I said add a rewards channel. How are y'all doing tonight? Welcome to the channel. We got a fun action-packed night planned. So much action. So much stuff going on. And that's what I'm looking for. Hey Laz, how are you doing today? We're going to make a video today together, guys. Answering that. This is the third time I've done this video. But hopefully the first time I put it up on YouTube. We're going to do a video today. You just made a new tune yourself. That's the way to go. You got to make your new tunes. Oh, let me grab this while this is here. Oh, it's gone. Okay, no big deal. Alright, let's see here. Let's do some double XP. Get that guy all set up on that. And so this is a character I've already made before. You can already see his artwork here, but I made him as Dark. I'm remaking him as a Dark Region Sentinel. So that's the story there. That is the story there. Yeah. I was just trying to think through a kind of space. I'm a little tired. Let's get that. Now we can move that right there. And we're kind of good to go for a little bit. Alright, so that guy's kind of set. Sort of. You're not... The endurance drain is too much, Chris? That's not good if it has high endurance drain. The reason why I'm switching this to regen was just because of a conversation I had with one of you. And it wasn't so much, hey, Dark is kind of gnarly because of that endurance drain. It was basically a lot of conversation having to go around regeneration. And I want to... You know, I like to see underdogs kind of get their way, and regeneration's always been kind of an underdog. And I always like to highlight those things. That's why, you know, if you tell me something's not popular, it almost draws me in to give it a shot and see if I can make it work. And regeneration's kind of been that thing. So, hey, Uncle Sloth, thank you for that. You too. Welcome back to the channel. But after I do these few characters, we're going to show you guys how I make my artwork via Gemini, which I've done a couple of times. So this might be old news to some of you. But this time I'm going to record it officially for a YouTube video so I can just put it up. Because I get the question all the time. I'm just going to put up a video and be done with it. It was part of the Christmas special video. You can go back and watch the Christmas special and see it there. But obviously, like, a lot of people want to see it. And telling all those people to go watch the Christmas video is probably a bit much. So we will going to make a couple of characters there. So that character's kind of done and ready for me to level up at some point. So that is Umbral Knight. He'll be my, you know, he's kind of a new level 2 Sentinel. Now, what else do I have in my notes to make? I'm supposed to remake Yorin Icehole as Ice Regeneration. So for those of you who don't know, and let's change the picture here. Yorin. Here's Yorin. Here's Yorin's artwork. He's the Ice Corruptor. We're going to go for Ice Radiation. Well, they nerfed it back in the day. I want to stop using it. Actually, super reflexes are pretty good on tanks and brutes. Super reflexes good on tanks and brutes, really? But don't usually, like, isn't it like you want resistances on tanks and brutes and not reflexes? Because you'll get more, because they got the higher caps and they get a lot more out of resistance than they get. I mean, everyone gets good. Everyone can get defenses up to a certain point, but obviously some do it easier. Let's see here. Let me do... So here is Yorin Icehole. And hopefully I saved his over here. I'm going to put him into my trash page here. Which is like back over here. And we're going to create a new Yorin Iceholes. Alright. Range damage. Corruptor. We're going for ice. We're going for radiation. Let's see. Inflicts a foe with reduced accuracy and defense. All foes that come near to will also be infected. Well, that sounds like fun. Alright, I think Yorin is this body type. And hopefully I've saved his artwork. Son of a gun, do I not have Yorin's artwork? You've got to be kidding me. I got like 800 other people and I didn't save Yorin's artwork? Son of a gun. It's the second time I've done that tonight. Yorin. Let's see here. So you were pleasantly surprised. Hey, Mr. Pembrass, good morning. Evening. Don't need it when they can't hit you as pleasantly surprised. Super Reflex is good on all tunes. Oh, okay. Gas scaling damage resistance. Oh, gas scaling. What do you mean gas scaling damage resistance? Let me go to... Well, I'm already at icon. This should be easy. Let's see. Taylor, save, Yorin, ice hole. Let me just see how much money Sunshine has. I need to send it. Oh gosh, we're gonna pass that money along because we're probably not gonna play this character anymore. So we can pass on his money. We can even convert, because I don't think I'm playing this one anymore. So usually what you want to do, holy cow, 162 merits. Oh wow, he could really cash out. Goodness gracious, 162. That's some money. Oh goodness gracious. Huh. And a Taylor discount coupon. Oh, from sitting in here. But dang nabbit. And 4 prismatic aethers. Holy cow. Now, I think you can mail reward merits, and I've not really done this before, but Yorin has quite a few. So I'm going to pass them on to new Yorin. And I've never really done this before. Is the cost of one or two so low? Well, that's what I did. I saved it off of this tune. This is the so I'm re-rolling Yorin here instead of ice. We're going to make him ice radiation, which kind of fits his whole space. It will make him a little bit more space ghosty. This is kind of a placeholder outfit. But I'll probably put a skull on him and make him like a radiation ice, you know, scully guy. And we'll probably remake him as a villain. It fits more as a villain than a hero. But yeah, I think this lady here can help me smuggle my merit badges to somebody else. Or I know one of these vendors. One of these vendors allows you to convert your merit badges into something that's a little bit easier to mail to your alts. But maybe it's not her. Oh, maybe it's actually in the merit vendor, like in Pocket D. And of course we got Pocket D locked. So we're going to try to move his merits over. Because he's got a lot of merits. I could cash them out for cash on the auction house, but... Oh, include City Hall. Yeah, I could just go to City Hall right here. Duh. Bodacious Space Pirates. Hey. Yeah, you guys, tonight we're going to show you how I make these really cool artworks on Gemini. It will be a very short lesson because it's actually very simple. Let's see. Conversion. All right. Influence into merits. Convert 1 million influence into 1 merit. That would be a complete waste. Let's see. Vanguards to reward merits. Hero to reward merits. Villain to reward merits. Convert 50 reward merits to 1 hero merit. Okay, so this is pretty much how you will send these things around. And we're going to send this to a villain. I don't know if it matters, but we'll go ahead and buy a bunch of villains. Let's see here. Villains. 1, 2, 3. Now he still has 12 left over. For that, we'll just cash him out as slaughters and sell those real quick on the auction house, and that can be part of the money he sends. Looks like they went down. They were at 60,000 earlier today. Oh, see, I sold a bunch for 60,000 right there. Oh, and I have all these prismatic aethers as well. But I think I can mail those, so I'll keep a hold of those. Oh, did I buy on slaughters instead of converters? My bad. Yeah, that's gonna hurt me in the pocketbook. Oh well, I don't have time to worry about it. Alright, and then I'll mail those. And what's an unstable oath? I forget what that's for. Hopefully I can mail that. Those are just enhancements. So, or inspirations. I'm not too worried about those. We'll go ahead and grab all that money. And now we'll mail all this to an alt. mail it to the new urine. So it just kind of rolls over. You gotta mail these one at a time. Of course, if you have, like, you know, this is probably the one point where a base might come into handy, because this might be a little bit faster if I had a base already set up. Or if you can send it, can't send the token. That's understandable. But we can send these. So new urine will start off with a little wind at his back. That's the point. All right, so I think I'm all set. Oh, I need to actually send the money too. All right. Is there anybody in the chat tonight that's dying 10-260? 10-260. That is excited to see how I do the artwork. No, I don't do it. Gemini does it. But you get the gist. All right, so now we're going to try to make our new corruptor, our radiation version of him. He is definitely magical. He is definitely range. He is definitely corruptor. He is definitely ice blast. And radiation emission. And we're going to load up urine ice hole. There we go. Urine is, we'll say he's a tall guy with pretty decent physique there. I always think the legs are always too long in this game. He could probably use longer legs, actually, for once. The women legs are just insane, but there he goes. Yeah, he looks better. Now, like I said, if I like him a lot, then I'll make a little bit new thing. I'll make it like the skull at the top and everything else, but this will work for now. Now, his radiation aura, let's see how that looks. It's going to be all green and radiation-y, but we could probably turn that to, you know, turn everything a little bit ice radiation, right? Like blue radiation. So that's fine. You can have a little fun with that. I do like that you can change all the colors on it. Match color across the power set. So we can just do this and this. Just kind of make it nice, a nice frosty blue on most of this. There we go. Yeah, recolor it to light blue across the whole thing. So that should affect everything, I think. Well, I might have to put bright radiation. Oh, bright radiation, dark radiation. Yeah. Bright radiation. So it's making everything nice and blue. So he's not spitting out a bunch of rainbow green colors. Who says radiation has to be green? Just because the Hulk is green doesn't mean all radiation has to be green. Alright, so this should work for him. Alright, so first things first, head up the start vendor up here and get our double XP. We'll quickly get him to level 2, and we'll get all the stuff actually from the email that we sent himself. So he can claim that. Delete, claim, delete, claim, delete. You want to be a little slow on this and not get too crazy with it. Oh, I just somebody going around with a robotics mastermind on the villain side. That's exactly how I got my start on the red side. And it quickly became my favorite side. Okay. That's all done. Let's go ahead and grab the start vendor. Show me your wares. Give me some of that sweet, sweet double XP. Now, some characters I don't get double XP on, but I'm definitely doing double XP on him because it's like the second time I've leveled him. It's a wonder I just don't sit on a farm, but I might still. Who knows? Reject common recipe, rare recipes, very rare recipes. Huh. Alright. Let's see here. Attacks. Ooh. Ninja run for him. That'd be funny. Alrighty. Eventually he'll beat him up. Eventually. Rewards. Add. Okay. And that's what I'm looking for right there. I make it that easy. Okay. Hey, Brian, how are you doing tonight? You're excited to see it? At least one person's excited to see it. At least I'm going to be doing this for somebody. That's what's important. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Hey, at least he can afford. He can afford a couple of red red in hand or whatever doodads. Oh wait, we don't want the Dios one, duh. We want the big boy. I don't know how many slots. I think he only has 2 slots, but that adds 40% damage almost to those powers. That makes life a lot easier right there. Well, what does this take? Foe, reduce, and reduce defense debuff. So we're getting a 25% defense debuff on target. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of buffing that some more, only because for the most part, I don't have problems hitting people at low levels and whatever have you, because we're not setting the pluses very high. So, but reducing their chance to hit, enhancing 2-hit debuff sounds like a really good idea right now. Makes it harder for them to hit me, which affects my tankiness. So I think the 2-hit debuff would be the way to go for enhancing on that power. So we're gonna, if we can mouse over that there, can we see how much it's gonna do if we, oh, that was 2-hit buff. No, I am hitting the wrong thing. 2-hit debuff, Phil, 2-hit debuff. All right, let's try that. Yeah, reduces them to 30%. So I love that. That's good. That's very good. That's very, very good. All right, that's good enough for him for now. So he's ready to go for the next run there. It's so easy, quick. I digitize embroidery as a hobbyist, playing around with it. I like the fact that I enjoy it. My own artwork and turn into embroidery. That is awesome. And Brian, you just got back from D&D night. That's exciting. Very cool. Very cool. Very, very awesome. I think I'll go log him out in Pocket D. Usually put the chat up there as reasons. By the way, I hope that the stream looks better. I kind of cranked up the artwork on it. Oh, did Peter die?
still alive.
Here you are. I heard Mom aggro, and then I thought maybe Peter just got sucked into the black hole. I get my own aggro over here sometimes, so I can relate. When the aggro strikes, that's all there is to it, right? Does anybody know what this...
Aggro, though.
That aggro is what?
Not the same kind of aggro.
Oh. Yeah, hopefully Uncle Sloth, it looks better and crisper than before and should be easier to see the text on my screen, I'm hoping. I've almost doubled the bandwidth that I'm pouring into the stream. Alright, let's see here. That is 2 of the 4 characters made that I need to make, I think. Maybe 3 characters. Let's see here. A Sai Scrapper. A Sai Scrapper. A Sai Scrapper. A Sai Scrapper. Psionic Melee. Oh, choose to go into the tele. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Okay, it's good to know that it's paying off, that the stream is better. That's what I like to hear. Now, a totally psychic character. Honestly, I've already got the psionic stalker that is totally not Psylocke. I don't know if there's another psionic-y character in comics I can use for... inspiration. So I'm going to ask AI to help give me some recommendations. Alright, so let's see. Of course it mentioned Psylocke first. You have Cable. But Cable is... It says Cable uses high-level telekinesis to enhance his physical strikes and often wields Scimitar Spear to focus his raw mental energy into melee attacks. I guess that's a new one. Exodus, a powerful Omega-level mutant who uses telekinesis to grant himself superhuman strength and durability, often engaging in direct physical combat while simultaneously losing his telepathy. Moondragon, Heather Douglas, a master martial artist whose psionic training allows her to bridge the gap between mental and physical mastery. On DC Comics, you have Martian Manhunter. DC's premier telepath often engages in melee using his shape-shifting and super strength, but also Martian Vision. Gorilla Grodd, a brutal physical combatant who uses telepathy and telekinesis to supplement his immense simian strength. Superboy, originally distinguished by tactile telekinesis, which allowed him to manipulate objects he touched and granted him super strength and invulnerability by creating a psychic field around his body. Manchester Black, while often relying on raw TK blasts, he's a ruthless fighter who uses telekinetic precision to cause internal ruptures or enhance the force of his strikes. And Maxima, an Almer Asian queen who possesses a wide array of psionic powers, including telekinesis and telepathy, which she uses to match the physical power of characters like Superman in close-range brawls. Right? So this is... Yeah, so this power set is Psyblade. I think it's psychic. Psionic Melee. It's a scrapper with psionic armor. So what superhero or superheroine do we want to use other than Psylocke? Because that's already taken. Our choices are Cable, Exodus, Moondragon, which is Heather Douglas, who I've never heard of before, Martian Manhunter, Gorilla Grodd, Superboy, Manchester Black, and Maxima. Now, part of me wants to look up some of these that I don't know and use one of those, because, you know, that's a little bit more interesting than, yeah, this is a ripoff of Cable. But, let's see what we're going to use here. Oh, Moon Dragon. Oh. Oh, she is, wow. Oh. She can turn to a dragon. Yeah. Maybe Voodoo from Wildcats? Or, let's see here. Voodoo from Wildcats. Voodoo from Wildcats. I'm just looking up artwork here. Images. That could work. If I could get like a nice stand-up picture, and I think I found one. Blue and yellow color scheme. I don't have a, I mean, not blue and yellow, purple and yellow. I could see, yeah, that could work. That could work. How about Cassandra Nova from the latest Deadpool and Wolverine? Cassandra, that's right, she does like to do that kind of stuff, doesn't she? Cassandra Nova. And she's kind of, you know, she doesn't even dress in like a superhero outfit in the movie, right? In that movie, she's just wearing the jacket and the shirt. I remember we went out and saw that movie. I don't watch very many superhero movies, honestly, but it had been so long since we see one, that's what we decided to do. Yeah, I think you guys you might be onto something there. That actually might work. And it looks like we have 2 votes for it. So if we do Cassandra Nova, she doesn't look like a powerhouse, right? She doesn't look like super heroic or anything like that. Let's see. And she's actually bald, right? Just like Professor Xavier. So we're gonna go with standard head, bald head. That actually might be her face right there, but we'll try not to make her look too mean. Do we want this to be a villain, guy? Should she be a villain? Well, I've already got like I made my totally not Psylocke character a villain, so I almost want this to be a hero because that way I have a psionic on both sides. Ooh, yeah, maybe we'll make this one a hero, and that's what keeps them kind of their alignment being kind of opposite is what does the trick. Let's see. So she's wearing like, oh, she wears a trench coat a lot. I love trench coats. Yeah, does she wear any glasses or anything? Not really. Not really. Trench coat. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And she's wearing sleeve trench coat? Yeah, sleeve trench coat. Going for like a light brown trench coat there. Let's see here. She would be regen. Does she regenerate a lot? Or does she use a psionic? Yeah, let's see what her powers are. Well, I'm supposed to make this Psi. The whole point was to come up with something like a character concept that was Psi, not to come up with the character concept and then come up with the powers to match it. But, you know, let's look up Cassandra Cain since we're going down this rabbit hole. Or Cassandra Nova, not to be confused with Cassandra Cain Batgirl, which would be an awesome character concept. Actually, now I want to do Cassandra Cain. That's actually one of my favorite looking characters in one of her outfits. I have a wallpaper of one of her, well, I think it's orphan outfits, and I really like that one a lot before she was like Batgirl or whatever. So I really love this outfit right here. Oh, can I paste? I can paste the link to this. Copy image address. I always like this image right here. If I can find a good this comic book page right here. Let me put the image address for Cassandra. Okay, now we have to make this too, guys. I have to make this, but look at this. I don't know if you guys have seen. If that should pull up the picture, hopefully. Do I want to leave YouTube? Go decide. Yeah, that should pull up the picture. That outfit of Cassandra. Okay, we have to do that next. But let's look up Cassandra Nova's powers now. Powers. All right. Powers. So DNA duplication. She's able to copy the DNA of sentient beings and use it to construct physical bodies for herself. She's capable of accessing the full spectrum of latent mutant functions in one's genomes. This includes regeneration. She regenerates and heals hundreds of times faster than a normal human, thanks to the superhuman regenerative healing factor. And then she telepathy, telekinesis. And Jean Grey had Tony Stark create a supply of countless replicas of Magneto's helmet, which blocked her psychic powers, much like her brother's. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's. I guess you could go either way. But she might rely more in the comics on her regeneration than necessarily her telekinetic ability to basically block things. You could see that. Regen. All right, back to the trench coat. You win, guys. You win. I can't argue with correct nerd logic. So, tattered, basic. Okay. Then her shirt. She needs a shirt. She should have a shirt, not a bikini. Just like, I don't know, a t-shirt, a dress shirt. No. Bodysuit, elf armored, athletic, barbarian, Billy T. I mean, I could go for something a little different just to make sure she looks different enough too. Sinister? Huh. Oh no, I'm not trying to link all the colors. Now. Sinister? Sport. T. That doesn't look like a t-shirt. That looks like you just spray painted her with white coloring. Yeah, it's not really good at probably drawing like a real shirt underneath, is it? Okay, that'll work. Let's see here. Yeah, she's just wearing like normal baggy, like cargo pants. This is great. She even does like these, yeah, khakis. Don't we have cargo? Baggy jeans. Yeah, sure, tight jeans. I swear there was a cargo pants option. Oh, here we go, cargo pants. There we go. Could be a different color. Could be the same color. It shouldn't be the same color as the trench coat. That's the whole thing. She doesn't look like much till she starts zapping you with her freaking mutant powers. Then it's just, you know, zombie boots. She is definitely not doing the high heels. Cowgirl boots. I suppose if they're like color black, maybe no one's gonna notice. Looks like she's wearing like leathery boots, honestly. That's probably fine right there. There we go. I think I think that might be a winner right there. At least I don't like to spend a lot of time. I think that'll work, guys. I think you guys made this one happen. Cassandra Nova. Now we need a different name. We obviously can't use Cassandra Nova. And honestly, the whole thing about Cassandra Nova is she's not like Superman or anything. I don't think this is like will be like copyright infringement. It's gonna be like, oh, she just looks like a bald lady going around in a trench coat. Who could that possibly be? I don't know. Maybe I should change it. Do you think I should alter this, guys, or do you think it's too close to home? And we can actually do artwork for this with Gemini after this. We're going to show you how we do Gemini artwork. But what do you guys think? Do you think I need to mix it up a titch? I'm gonna give her a hat. No idea who that is? Well, that might be what I'm hoping, is that I won't get reported because nobody will know who it is. But maybe if I should change it just a touch. She is in a movie. That's the thing. If she had never shown up in that movie, I could probably get away with it. Because probably not enough people read the comics to really nail it on her. With her in the, movie, it might be a little too close to home. Maybe. Maybe. Goggles, maybe? Yeah, maybe we could do... Okay, so if we turn off the hat, we go for standard, and we do goggles, right? Blast goggles. I'm always a fan of the goggles. Yeah. I could always do the goggles there. Seems like something she would do, too, in her half craziness, insanity. But, like I said, we're making her into a good guy, so... Because I already got the bad guy psychic. Alright, that should do for now. This is good for a beginning. Now I just need a name for her. Let's see. So she's normally Cassandra Nova. Nasandra Kova? Nasandra Kova? What do you think? Cassie. What's another word for Nova? Let's see here. Another word for Nova. Cassie, no. Cassie, no. Let's see if it's available. Now I want to make her Asian. If she's like Cassie, no. I think there's an Asian face in this, right? And that would make her at least a little bit different. But I think there is an Asian face. There's a couple of Asian faces, I think. Because I used one on Wildlight. There. That one kind of looks Asian-y. Peter, you're like the expert at Asian faces. You can pick which one you think is best. I don't think Peter wants to pick the Asian face. These low resolution faces. Imperial Dynasty. Oh, that's interesting. That doesn't look a little too happy. There we go. All right. And then we put the goggles on. There we go. Perfect. All right. I think we got a winner here. All right. Good job, guys. Good job, chat. You made this happen. Is Cassie with an E in it? Oh, it's C-A-S-S-I-E usually. And it's usually a diminutive or nickname for Cassandra. Okay, so C-A-S-S-I-E. Which is how I spelled it down here. Okay, I'm smart. All right. I know what I'm doing. I totally know what I'm doing. Okay. Perfect. Mutation, Scrapper, Sideblade, Fast Healing. Play the tutorial. No. Hero, and enter the game. All right. Do any of you know about Cassandra Cain? Orphan. Part-time Batgirl. Anybody? In the chat. Can anybody help me out with that? Oh, I love trench coats. She actually has Cassandra Nova's kind of like slender, like tall, like lanky form too. This is great. Yeah, she was a part-time. I lose track of who's exactly back or whatnot, but take a look at that. You can take a look at that link I pasted a few lines up. She was known as Orphan. I don't know a whole lot about her. I just know I saw it, like a couple of comic pages on her. Seemed like a pretty badass character. Of course, another one of the Bat member families, whatever, and they're a dime a dozen. But I really like the outfit. What really got me wasn't about the character or anything. It was that outfit's kind of... And of course, she's acting like a badass, which is really cool, too. She apparently... I did some history searching on her, and she's actually well known for her battle prowess. I'll read her powers out loud, and we'll try to determine what power set. Because now I need to make this character. See if I can make that character. Not even sure I can. Not even sure I want to. Let me just hit level 2 real quick. Well, there's Cassandra. We're talking about 2 different characters. This one's already done. This is totally not Cassandra Nova. This is Cassie Noah, completely different character, and this one's all done. And we know it's not Cassandra Nova because this one's Asian. So that totally... And she wears goggles. So there's distinctions there. To stay out of copyright trouble. But Cassandra Cain is the link that I did above. If you look a few lines above, where I linked to an image of Orphan. And you can tell me, oh, I'm actually not ready to level up yet. I need to kill one more. I thought I was ready. If you just take a look at that, should be able to find an image. That's what I'm looking for. I'm thinking staff and super reflexes. And it would technically be a scrapper or a stalker. Would that be a good combo, guys? What do you think? How was she trained? Let's read. Let me read a little bit about her. Right. Let's see here. Let's read about this character. Okay. So Cassandra Cain. My name is Cassandra Cain. I am no oracle. I do not tell the future. I know the past. I see the now. Faces, movements, patterns, nerves, intentions, mistakes. My sight is my prophecy, and my fists are my medium. I simply read the cards laid out before me, and I play my hand. I am Batgirl. I write the though I want her more as Orphan, so before she was Batgirl. I write the fortunes of my enemies. No matter what the hand I was dealt, I make my future, and I always will. Cassandra Cain is a vigilante Batgirl, forming one half of the Batgirls with Stephanie Brown, also known as Orphan. She fights crime as a member of the Batman family, the daughter of assassins David Cain and Lady Shiva. She was raised to be the perfect killer before rebelling and joining Batman's crusade. And of course, she has a number of origins depending on which one you go with. So the difference between a scrapper and a brute, mechanically, brutes have more defense, and their attack starts out pretty low, but as they fight through a fight, their rage builds up and they do more and more and more damage. Scrappers have less damage, but they tend to have more damage overall, primarily due to this, their crits. So at any point, Scrappers attacking somebody, they have a chance to crit for double damage. The chances are higher if they're going up against tougher enemies. Yeah, flavor-wise, you tend to think of Scrappers tend to be really stronger type of people, like the Hulk, or, maybe even, Brutes. Brutes tend to be stronger guys that are pretty tanky, so you tend to think of, like, Hulk or Thor, whereas Scrappers tend to be really, scrappy type of guys who aren't really known much for their super strength, like Wolverine tends to be thought of. Even though Wolverine's pretty strong, he's not coming up anywhere close to people with real true super strength anytime soon. Wolverine doesn't really technically have a lot of super strength, if any. He just heals really fast. He has lots of sharp claws, so we think of him as a scrapper. Psylocke would be another one. Like Psylocke, with her psychic daggers, is definitely very much a scrapper using ninjutsu. She is not going to pick you up and lift her over your head and throw you. With that being said, mechanically in the game, they can both pretty much pick from the same power sets. So there's nothing stopping you from making a brute Wolverine, and still having claws and maybe regeneration. I believe that would work on technically work on a brute. It would just be the mechanics feel different, and he would feel a lot. Could ultimately feel tanker than if he was a scrapper, but might do less damage, especially in the early beginning parts of a fight. Like a scrapper, with a little bit of luck, can actually go up and single hit kill somebody right at the beginning, whereas a brute has to work their way up to those higher numbers. Yeah. It has stealth and enhanced crit if you're a scrapper with ninjutsu. So like a bow staff with ninjutsu on a scrapper could be pretty interesting. Let's see what her powers and abilities are officially. Acrobatics, incredibly skillful. She's learned how to dance, diving, driving. I don't even know how that's a superpower. That's like everyone's got that. She can detect the scent of cyanide, an uncanny ability in humans. Oh my gosh. Okay, martial artist. Cassandra is one of the best trained martial artists in the world, having mastered multiple fighting styles, including the obscure Okichata from the Kree. With nothing but her fighting skills, she was able to fend off an entire army of highly trained ninja. She was able to easily defeat an injured Nightwing in a fistfight, as well go to toe-to-toe with her father David. Batman himself stated that he would lose if he had to fight her. Her skills are such notice that she's considered a valuable combat instructor to train the Teen Titans along Black Canary and Hawkman. So she does Jinjitsu, Muay Thai, and stuff like that. Now, doesn't necessarily weaponry. Throwing. Orphan is an expert marksman when it comes to throwing projectiles. She was able to hit 4 targets with batarangs while performing a flip. Swordsmanship. She's been an expert swordsman, trained since birth. Stick fighting. She's trained in the use of battle stabs, having earned the praise of Zealot during a training session. So you could create her either way. You could just go for the straight up, like, I think it's martial artist or something like that. You could go for dual blades with the swordsman side, or the stick fighting, which seems more along the lines of a bat person, since they usually don't kill, but of course there are exceptions to that. Red Hood. So, yeah. Claws and ninjutsu would definitely be good for a character. Absolutely. But I really like that outfit, that black and yellow kind of orphany with the hood, and you can put the mask. She sometimes wears a mask. It's a really, really cool looking outfit. So, let's see what she favors. Change sword to clubs. You could do that. You absolutely could do that, right? Take a look at my notes here. Martial art energy scrapper. Somebody said that was fun too if you're looking for something a little different. Martial arts energy scrapper. So, but you guys say super reflexes is all the rage nowadays. I've already got a few brutes. But put him over here. Yeah, I think... Yeah, that could be kind of interesting. So you got natural, of course, melee damage. Yeah, you could go either one of these. I mean, really, it just depends. Stalker really does have that whole Batman feel to it. They really are stalkers, though. And you do have staff fighting. Staff fighting stalker. You have martial arts. Martial arts stalker. That could be kind of fun. Give it a shot. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? And then super reflexes. How's that a hero? That's like way out there in left field. Staff is the best. Oh, see, now you make me want to do staff. Oh, now I want to do staff. I hate you. So you're saying I should do staff instead of martial arts? She could go either way. Buck Rogers type thing. No, this is supposed to be like, yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Oops. Well, I want a superhero outfit. I can't believe they don't just have like, here's a basic. Could go Freedom Corps, I suppose. Actually, this might work, but that might be a little bit too much. Oh gosh. You got Ninja. Ninjas wear some pretty thick stuff. Alright, whatever. Staff gas, way better AoE on Stalkers versus martial arts, none. You know, now I've got two of you ganging up on me, so I have to go staff now. Gosh. Secretary Soldier, chainmail, Greek, leather armor. Alright, this is better than whatever. Alright, let's link these colors up at first. Do upper body, do tights. Tights, we're going to do black, which is going to start off with black and yellow as the secondary color here. Alright, now we got those linked. For the head. Do. Pick a face. That looks way too happy. Alright, and then her hair. Don't know what that is, but that is definitely not what we're going for here. Do. That's probably a little too cray-cray. We probably use this for now. Okay, that works. That works. Let me just pull up that artwork again. Right here. I'm going to have this pulled up on the side. That, because those gloves, I swear I've seen some of this in City of Heroes or something close to it, right? Like, I'm pretty sure I can get something decently well. Just like a couple of, like, I don't know exactly what it's called, but just a couple of yellow stripes. Nothing crazy. Minimalistic is the word I'm looking for. Ooh, what was that? Lightning. That's probably a little too lightning-y. Pattern 6 is in the running. Remember pattern 6. Let's see here. That could be pretty good. Pattern 6 or Thorns. Probably gonna go for pattern 6. Maybe. Can give her some shoulder pads as well. Shoulders. She has like the little... She has these little shoulder pad thingies. This'll work. Okay, and then the gloves. Let's see here. Could probably do leather straps, but let's see, it was pattern 6 before. Sometimes you can pick like the same pattern number and that works, but no. Let me change this yellow. Let me change this yellow to like a more of a there's a little bit of orange to it. Kind of like that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Now we just need to change your hair back to black. Alright. Yeah, there is probably a glove with a little bit more without too much. Overguard is looking pretty good. Justice is looking pretty good. You could literally have bat wings on you. That'll work. See, that's right there, almost there. I know I've seen gloves that have this look to it, and I'll figure it out. It's probably near the bottom with my luck. Let me just zip to the bottom. Black wing. That's actually a fun glove set right there. Oh, there we go. Right there. That'll work. It's a circle of thorns. Now, I didn't want her gloves to be yellow, but I don't think it gives me the option of having black gloves. Let's see here. She has a belt. Gotta have a bat belt, so to speak. We'll use that for now. Lower body. The upper body is using tight chest leather armor. Lower body, leather armor. Is that really leather armor? Oh, I guess it is. Okay. Can we get pattern number 6? Is that a thing? Just to be consistent? No, not a thing. We're definitely not getting stars, that's for sure. And actually, her pants are more like normal bottoms. Yeah, these guys don't do anything halfway, do they? Everything's very flashy. So flashy. Could do Circle of Thorns sandals, right? That actually isn't exactly anywhere close to the comic, but that'll work. Okay. Let's see, what's another word for orphan? Shelter woman or something. Oh, this is the toughest part, right? I'm gonna ask AI to help me out. Let's see what it comes up with. Yeah. Refugee. She could be, right? She could be refugee. She's a good... She provides... Hayami, swift beauty, perfect for somebody with high reflexes. Namami, suggests fluid flowing movements, 7 Cs. Suzume. Rage Muffin? No, we're not calling her Rage Muffin. Let's see. Amari, Universal Silk Road vibe, often associated with eternal long-lived. Asahi. Dustwalker, a name for someone who has walked across nations and carries the road on her clothes. Street Urchin. Street Urchin actually fits the character vibe very much. Let's see. Is Street Urchin's available? No, of course it's not going to be available. There's no way Dustwalker is available. The Wayfinder Refugee? The Iron Willow? The Iron Willow. Huh. Iron Willow's available. Iron Willow it is. So a staff stalker, ironed, colored the Iron Willow. Iron Willow or the Iron Willow? Iron Willow or the Iron Willow? The Iron Willow? Iron Willow. Just Iron Willow, right? No, just Iron Willow. Yeah. I don't know if she should start out being a villain. Jeez, I don't know how many villains and stuff I already have. I'll do hero. Can always switch. All right, so usually, all right, we're gonna start doing the AI video here in a minute. Again, everyone's always asking for it, so we're totally gonna make a video out of it for once. How do we make the artwork? How do we make it look so good, Phil? How do we do it? How do you do it, buddy? We're gonna find out. Oh man, everyone's dead around here. Someone's street sweeping. Alright, I'm gonna... Just occurred to me I could hide. Well, I don't have a super sniking strike anyways. Oh, I didn't pick her weapon. I don't like this weapon. I didn't realize I forgot to pick a weapon. Luckily, costume changes are free for the first 10 levels. That's all I needed right there. I need to fix that bow staff. Weapon, long staff, bladed, broom, no, carnival light, no, no, there we go. Glossy metal, that's probably good enough for me. No, no, what is it with you people? A pull cue? Yeah, no, that's not okay. Wood, wrapped. Nemesis staff. Oh my gosh, no. No, we're just gonna go for the straight up. We'll go for glossy metal. That's fine. Yeah, you guys finally ready to do the video? Peter's always excited when we spread the joys of AI to the world, right, Peter?
Totally.
Gosh, every time I'm loading it, I got the lady's butt in my face. All right, let's do it. Let's do this video here. Let's see here. For this, I need my Chrome. And let me see if I got the Chrome Gemini up. One second. All right, so that should be there. Why is it not picking it up? It is not picking it up. Let's try. There we go. Okay. Okie dokie. Here we go. All right. There it is. Okay. So we can do this. We can totally do this. We got this. All right. Let me just check my video folder real quick. What was I doing earlier today? Oh yeah, Scorpion. To do the AI character portrait locally in Comfy UI? Oh, it's much easier just to do it on Gemini. I'm going to show you how easy this is. So let's start a recording here. Let me pull up one of my new characters, right? We're going to pull up, I've already got artwork on Umbral Knight. I've already got artwork on Yorin Icehole. So we'll do Iron Willow. All right. Gonna turn down this music even more because it's in my ear. Salutations, my name is Phil, aka JCServant, and welcome to another exciting City of Heroes video. Today I'm going to show all of you how I do the AI illustrations, which I've done a couple of videos on these, but they're a bit varied, like it's inside my Christmas special and things like that. And I keep getting the questions, so we're gonna help you guys out, and we're gonna jump into it and figure this out, right? And I've made a couple new characters, Iron Willow and Cassino, who need some artwork done. So this is a great time for me to knock out two birds with one stone and get their artwork done and show you guys how I do it at the same time, okay? Because right now I've still got Yorin up here. Let me just turn off Yorin here because that will keep the screen cleaner for our tutorial lesson. All right, so first off, it really does help if you know how to do a snippet of your screen, what I like to call a snippet, where you basically capture just a portion of your screen and it immediately either saves it as a file or stores it into your clipboard so you can easily copy and paste it or paste it somewhere else, okay? That's the method I use. You could possibly also screenshot and load the screenshot into AI or whatever it may be. Windows comes with a snipping program, I believe. I forget exactly what it's called, but teaching you exactly how to snip is probably beyond the scope of this video. So you'll need to look to other tutorials if you really don't know how to do a screenshot or how to snip a part of the screenshot or whatever have you. But you're going to get the best results, generally speaking, if you can just snip or grab just that piece of screen that has that character. It gives AI less room to botch it up. All right. Now, we're going to take a screenshot here of Willow, preferably with her arms down and not crossed, which this will work just fine. And you can take more than one screenshot if you want to give AI, you know, a profile or whatever have you. This is perfect. While her arms were coming apart there, I hit the button on it, and I don't know how much the screen captures this because it freezes my whole screen while I do the snippy thingy. And I've snipped it and I put it into my computer's clipboard. Now we're going to go over to AI and turn this into a fun picture, okay? So let me pull up my fun little Google Gemini screen, and we'll pull this up for you guys right here. Here we go. Now, before I do the new one, I'll show you one that I did earlier. This is my new ice scrapper, right? And I said, draw this character in front of a city in the background, show snowflakes fall around her body from her ice powers, draw in the Marvel Comics style. I almost always say draw in the style of Marvel Comics or Marvel Comics 2025 or whatever. And that got me this. Now, this was a little messy because she's like floating above the city. The city's literally in the background there. So I did say tone down the snow a bit and put her on the city street, and we got this. All right. Another character that I did here was I want to call her Cinderflare, but that's my other character. Anyways, I said draw this character style of Marvel Comics holding a microphone up to interview a hero off the street. She's about 4 foot tall and the hero's 6 foot tall, and she's hovering in the air so she can see him eye to eye. The hero is male with blonde hair. I didn't care what the hero looked like. The point was to show her interviewing him. And here we go. So we got that pretty much right the first time. It looks like she's hovering up there, holding a microphone to his mouth, and it pretty much did everything I did. Could have made her a little shorter. She kind of looks like she's closer to almost 6 feet, given that he's probably over 6 feet. She might be, well, maybe like 5.5 feet, but I'm getting, it's fine. It's fine for what it is. So let's do this new one and show you guys how we do this. So we always want to start with a new chat. Don't use your old chat. And again, I'm using Gemini. I recommend Gemini for my artwork. I've tried a couple different others, and Gemini by far has been the best for what I want to do. So I'm going to put that picture of Cassandra, Iron Willow, into the thing. Now, she is a staff super reflexes stalker. So I'm going to say, draw this character in the style of Marvel Comics 2025. She uses a metal bow staff for a weapon. Show her in an action pose against a blue background. Now that's going to be important for me because I use these for overlays that you guys see, and for thumbnails I need the background to be transparent. The one weakness of Gemini is it doesn't do transparent backgrounds for whatever gosh darn reason, so I just make it blue and I take away the blue. So, because she doesn't have any blue in her outfit. It's like a green screen. It generally does the job. Okay? And that's probably it in this case. She doesn't have any ice powers. She doesn't have any really flashy powers to show off or anything like that. So, that will probably work. And whatnot. So, we'll hit OK on that and we'll see what it comes up with. Generally speaking, this works well 75% of the time, 80% of the time. And sometimes I have to do a second take. So, and it's a lot faster than some of the other AIs I've used. Boom, there we go. Now, this is pretty darn good. Pretty good. The only thing is that she's got her hands overhand on a staff. Generally like to see it like that, right? One over, one under. But this I could use right here, and I may be one of the only people who noticed that, the whole staff thing is a little off. But it shows in a pretty good action sequence, and this is definitely something I could use. The one mistake I made here is I didn't say solid blue background, so now I've got some variation in the background that makes it harder to remove. I should have said a solid blue background. Now I have two choices if I want to try to make this better. I could start a new prompt, or I could try to carry on with this one. I can also just tell it to redo it and see what it comes up with different. I'm going to try to get it to correct this. Usually I start a new prompt, but we're feeling frisky tonight. Change the background to solid blue. Because one hand's over. Show the right hand as being overhanded on the staff and the left hand as being underhanded on it. We'll see what it comes up with. Like I said, 75% of the time, it's good enough I take it the first time. Honestly, I usually take the first go at it. The hands bug me just enough for me to want to fix it. It still doesn't get her hands quite right on this. But it did give me a solid blue background, so there's that. I don't know why there's a shadow down there. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, it's really, really bad at making corrections. It's almost always better just to start with a new prompt. And what you can do is you can take your, I did say solid blue. I said change this to background. Take your text prompt from before and then just modify it in the new chat, right? So use an action post against a solid blue background with no... I usually don't say. I usually just say solid blue background, so I'm just going to leave it as like that. Let's see here. Now, I don't know if we need to specify the hand positioning again. Maybe you'll get it right this time. I don't know if it actually understands overhand, underhand. That I'm not even sure that's the right terminology, to be fair. So let's just try this and see how that goes. Let's change that word to solid. Show her an action pose against a solid blue background. Maybe weapon and the other hand should be underhanded on the weapon. Again, I'm not even sure that's the exact language to use, so we're going to find out real quick. We'll see how it goes. This is actually the most fun part of playing City of Heroes, is doing the artwork for your character with AI. We didn't have, back in my day, we didn't have this. Yeah, it really doesn't like to do the hands correctly. The outfit looks great. The hands are kind of cray-cray, so that is most unfortunate. I mean, you can use a bow staff both overhanded, so I guess I'm being a little nitpicky here. You could come to somebody and go pew, pew, pew. So I guess it works. I'm just more used to this, but that could work. Now, my only gripe with this is the bow staff is too short. Make the staff longer. Let's just see where it goes with that. That one's kind of an easy one, so we'll see if it can do that. We're up to a high score of like 4 renditions of this character, because normally, I just settle on the first one normally, so I've got that. And again, it does a horrible job of corrections almost. I mean, it is longer. Actually, that's actually pretty good. That's good enough. We're going to take it. So we're going to copy this image, and actually I'm going to save it. I'm going to open it up on my graphic editing program, and I'll show you guys in a minute how I take off a background. We're going to do another one real quick. So we're going to grab one more off of City of Heroes and give you another example. This time we're going to do Casey No, who is a psionic melee regeneration scrapper. Okay. All right. Draw this character in the style of Marvel Comics 2020. Now, you can even give it a little bit more, a little bit messed. If you want to look a little more anime, you can do that. You can absolutely have some fun with this, but I'm pretty boring because I want them all to look consistent for my thumbnail, so I stick to consistency for me. She has telekinetic melee powers. Show her in an action pose against a solid blue background using her powers. Now, I could get more specific, like with a psychic knife or something along those lines, which in the game she does have. But I'm going to see what the AI comes up with and whatever have you. I could get more specific, but sometimes I just like to see what the AI comes up with. So let's see what it does here. Oh, I should have told the AI she is also Asian. It might be hard to tell with those goggles and stuff to help get the skin coloration right, but that actually isn't shabby at all. That's pretty good. I don't have any complaints about that. That's actually, you guys tell me in the chat channel if you think there's any complaints about that, but that's pretty much it. I would say her boots should be black, and her, maybe do some different coloration. I don't think it's picking up on the subtle, well, her boots are the same color. Yeah, no, I mean, it's picking up exactly what's on there. That's probably fine. That's honestly, that's actually pretty good. You guys tell me in the chat. I think it's pretty good. Now, let me see here. Was I going to do I thought I was going to do one more artwork. Well, I can't think of one off the top of my head. So two other things I'm going to do on this video. You can stop. This is pretty much, that's all I do, guys. So it isn't rocket science. Obviously, if I want a little bit more, I can put other characters in there. I'll need to snip those guys in. I'll have to work with it harder. But in terms of what I do mostly for my thumbnails, this is pretty much it. I might say, for example, if we take one of my characters here from City of Heroes, let's say we take let's pick a blaster. Blasters or cinder or whatever have you. We'll pick a blaster. We'll pick all right, pick Freezer Burn here, right? He's pretty complicated looking guy. Now, his was a little bit more complicated, right? So if we take him, we're going to use a little bit more language with this. Draw this guy in the style of Marvel Comics 2020. He is using fire powers with one hand and ice powers with another. Show him fighting thugs in the street. Oh, he is... Now, the problem with the City of Heroes, thing is he doesn't really look super African-American. He looks like a Caucasian with a really good tan. So we're going to make sure that he is African. He is African race. So draw... yeah. He's African race and should have that hairstyle and color. Just so it knows to change that a bit, because the game doesn't get it right. I have to do this also with Asian characters and stuff, because City of Heroes doesn't really quite get that right. I play some World of Warcraft, and I was very happy when they revamped the human models so that you could make more realistic looking characters from other nationalities, and they didn't just look like Caucasians with slightly different color skin. And look at how well that came out. That's fantastic. That's pretty good. The hair could be a little bit better. I can pick on the hair a little bit. It looks a little too straight for somebody of African descent. But you can tell the dynamic, the coloring, the effects, the gangs, like everything looks great on here. This looks like it was written by Marvel artists. So that's all I got for this. I'm going to show you how I take away the background now on some of those other pictures that I did. For anybody who cares, you can keep watching the video for that and whatnot. So let's do that real quick. But if you're that's all I got for as far as the AI side goes. Now we just need to edit those other pictures and whatnot. So for that, we're going to use Clip Studio. And I'll see if I can get the Clip Studio. So I use Clip Studio Pro right here. And there's a button called the Auto Select tool. And you're just going to pick the blue. It's really that simple. Now, I do mess with those settings to get different results sometimes and whatnot. But generally speaking, this does the trick more times than not. We might have a little extra blue in there that if I want to be really finicky, I can certainly get rid of that manually or with a little extra auto select or whatever have you. I can certainly go in there and scroll in and hit the E for eraser, the eraser tool here. And get rid of that manually right there. Clean that bad boy up. We got a little blue here from where it was doing some of the effects. I don't think anybody would notice if I left it on there, but you know what? If we're being professional, because we're definitely professionals here, we can go ahead and get rid of that stuff pretty easily with an eraser tool. So keep that in mind. Right? Pretty good stuff. Is this helping anybody in the chat tonight? Let me know if you're there. Seems like the chat's been really quiet. So I'm live streaming this as well. Yeah, very easy to get rid of this stuff though. I think that's probably good enough. And now I can save this. Get rid of that little symbol down there. And maybe just get rid of the empty space around the character so that's a little bit tighter, snugger fit around that character there. Alrighty, there we go. Taking lots of notes. You don't, we'll have this video up, saved on YouTube, so you can watch it over and over again, guys. You won't have to find it on the old stream history. And then I'm going to export this as a PNG. And I'm just going to export this to my hard drive somewhere where I keep all my City of Heroes characters. And this is Iron Willow. And we're going to pop her into the screen on the live stream now. So if I put that on there, I'll have this pulled up for you guys in just a GIF. And we're going to change this to Iron Willow. And we can see that's how fast we did this for our stream today, right? Unless I didn't save it properly because I don't see it. There it is. Boom. Boom. And there she is. Look at that. See there? There's the picture. We just bring her over. She's a little more transparent now. And she's ready to rock and roll. Right? Watch it a million times. Oh no. Oh gosh, you're going to crash the server. Been quiet. Knows. Let's do the other one real quick, right? Let me do the other one. It was Cassie. Cassie No. All right, Cassie No. Let's bring in Cassie No. All right, now this one's a little tougher because of her special effects around her fist and all that jazz. So that, and plus the shadows around her feet. So this is adding a little bit of an extra challenge, and this could take a little hot minute. Not too long, but it will probably take longer than the last one. And I definitely have definitely people who are against using AI at all. I personally enjoy using it. For these types of purposes and whatnot. I do think that whether we like it or not, I do think AI is going to be the wave of the future, and I think you're going to see more and more of it all over the place. It's kind of like in accounting. At one point we started having to use calculators and spreadsheets and everything like that, and stopped using people as much, and we cut our staffs and everything to, because we didn't need as many people to run things by hand. So I think you're going to see that a lot in the future at some point. I've heard concerns about the power consumption and everything. I don't know enough about that. And here's the thing: even if I did know enough about it and I really hated it all and all that jazz, there's not a whole lot I'm going to be able to do about it because these companies are going to continue to use that no matter what. They're going to continue to push that needle forward. There is a future for this to help things out in the long run. So they're going to keep pushing. There's profits to be made. You can't stop those guys from making their profits. If they're destroying the environment or whatever in the process, then hopefully the governments are doing something, but we know a lot of them won't. We have some regulation here in the United States, maybe not enough, but you have countries like China and India that are much, China's much bigger than us. India is, I think, much more populated than us. And they have very little, stuff on that. So, yeah, it is a complex subject, and I appreciate those people who are passionate about it on either side. For me, I won't say I'm super passionate about it. I'm just going to say that I'm probably going to use it here and there. I don't use it nonstop all day. I definitely use it to help me, do some of my artwork, but also for other things in life. I've used it to help me do notes, to come up with ideas for my Pathfinder D&D campaign. I have used it numerous times to help me out with ideas and sometimes with rewriting stuff. So I have found a few good uses for it, but it also botches up a lot, so I have to pay attention to it. It's like having an administrative assistant that makes a lot of mistakes. So you always got to look over her work, but it's still faster than if I did it all by myself. So it's the only reason we keep her on staff. But normally I couldn't afford that anyway. All right, she is done. We'll go ahead and export this as a PNG, and we'll save this as Cassie No. All right. And now that one's all good to go. So there we go. That is it. That is all I got for you guys who are watching this on the YouTube video. Let me know if you have any other further questions and whatever in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if this helps. Thank you so much for watching, and may God bless you. All right, that's a wrap for the YouTube video. It is done. That is off the to-do list. And Peter is ecstatic. He is ecstatic. All right, for those of you in the chat, we could play around with one of the new characters. We could do one of the older characters. We could do, I could probably do more of that story, that villain story arc. We could do a character spotlight. For Stardust, I think is the next one on my list for the character spotlight videos. So if you have some strong feelings on that, let me know in the chat. Let's see here. There's a Claws Brute. Claws Electric Armor. Sometimes you just want to play a big, strong guy. Oh, I have been using staff on Donatella. Hey, Yuki, how are you doing tonight? Debrute sounds like. Oh yeah, I need to get rid of the chrome thing. We're just gonna keep Cassie No there in front of everyone's face. That's true. We should get rid of that. Oops. Which brute? What brute, Daymarth? Let's take a look at our brutes. If we're talking about brutes, we have Sirokoa, which is Savage Fire. I have Winter Axe, which is Battle Axe and Bold. I got Slice and Shock, which is Claws Electric Armor. Yeah, this look is really just placeholder, so don't judge me. Indomitable Bulk, which is Super Strength Willpower Brute. And then another place holder for artwork here, but Big Green Bertha, which is Titan Weapon, some Bio Armor. Just trying out different things. I don't even think I have artwork for Big. It'd be funny if I did have artwork for Big Green Bertha. I don't think I really actually don't know if I'm ever going to play this character. Let's take a look here. Do I have artwork for Big Green Bertha? That would be funny. No, don't. Slice and Shock? Sure. I do have artwork for Slice and Shock. Very original name, I know. Everything about this character is kind of a placeholder. But she does kind of look like this. She looks like some really weird alternate version of X-23 or something, or Wolverine. And let's take her through one of my favorite little story arcs here. Let's take a look. Level 23, looking pretty good on that. Let's take a look at our enhancements, make sure those are looking fantabulous. We are looking fantabulous aside from lightning reflexes. Could use a little titch. Lightning reflexes, 20% strength, endurance. Oh, this only, no wonder it's got nothing in it. It only enhances flying speed or whatever. Yeah, don't need to worry about that right now. I do like the fact that she's got like red electricity. I didn't do that on purpose, but we might have to stick with that. Think about AI, have I watched Terminator? No, I've not watched a lot of Terminator movies in my time. I have not. How you doing, Will? How are you doing? How you doing? We're going to do the Fusion Net storyline. This is good storyline, by the way. If you got like a character who's like level 15 to 25 or so, maybe 20 to 25. I forget what the level limit is on it. But you want to, this is a good one to do. It's 3 doors, and it's a good way. Like when you do the same story arc, over and over, you can kind of test your different characters and have like a baseline that you're used to doing over and over. So you can be like, well, my other characters normally do it this fast, or they have this much difficulty, and this character has that much difficulty, so maybe that's too much or too little or whatever. It just helps to have a baseline on these things. Well, let me turn the volume back up on the game. Let's see what we got here. Gonna slice them. Oh gosh, no, that's not okay to do that to her. Now she's gonna slice. Oh gosh, they died quick. She doesn't even have her like rage up, and they died pretty quick. Yeah, she just went through that lieutenant like he wasn't there. Now, the only thing that can be a little, got to pay attention to, obviously, is the endurance #1. And, it's actually pretty easy to get carried away and lose track of your hit points. Oh, gosh, the pain. The suffering. Yeah, defenders wish they could even come remotely close to that damage. Probably could use some mez resistance, though, and knockback resistance, which, I mean, you could get pieces for that, but it'd be nice as a brute if it was baked into your cake. Ouch. That hurt a titch. So what's up with you, Will? How are you doing tonight? What you all working on? What's everyone working on tonight? Let's see, eviscerate, damage lethal, slash, damage lethal. You slash off all longer recharge. The attack reduce, making them easier to hit. Ooh. I'm gonna do that one first, make them easier to hit. Let me get my health back there. Let's see, I just, this channel yesterday, I played it when I was like, well, I think there's some words missing out of that sentence there. But I'm glad you came back after watching it yesterday. Usually when people watch me the first time, they just run away after that, so that's kind of nice. Come on, FusionNet. Was a full team on a full team earlier with my brute and a kinetics and saw the damage bonus hit 600%. Yeah, no, it can be a little cray a damage bonus. In fact, it's not a bad idea. Let me just make these channels. I usually have this one set to rewards. Let me put rewards on this. So I usually have that to set to combat, so we can kind of see a few of the combat stats there. And then we can go to powers, go to combat attributes, go to base, go to damage bonus, monitor damage bonus. Let's see. We have some resistance and we don't have any defense, so we'll monitor lethal and all that jazz. 71% energy damage, dang. Well, energy's not going to affect us anytime soon. Alright, so we got a little bit of that going on there. One of my favorite characters, Firestorm Corruptor. Ooh. My favorite Corruptor is Storm, is Water Storm. Water Storm. Water Storm. But yeah, I don't play too many groups. You will catch me doing them once in a while. Not super often. I do a lot of solo, occasionally a duo. I'm kind of like your more casual. Wow, that volume's a little loud there. I'm kind of like your more casual gamer. Oh, that poor lieutenant there. The thing you keep in mind about the damage bonuses, I believe their overall damage is on the low side. So you're getting 150%, but it's 150% of not exactly scrapper damage type of deal. I usually have the contributes, monitoring regen, rate recovery, last hit chance. Oh, last hit chance is a good one. I should look at that. And if I have stealth power, stealth radius, so I can see if it locks on. Okay. All right. Dave Marth likes a solo too. Yeah, we're a bunch of solo buddies here, right? A lot of us are. A lot of us are. You tend to get a lot of drama in groups too on the occasion, or they move at like different speeds. You know, I like to take my time through stuff. I don't want to be rushed. But sometimes I want to move a little bit faster, and somebody wants to kill every single thing on the floor, and I'm like, oh, I didn't want to do that, and I'm cranky. I'm old. Do it my way. Yeah, so... The one thing I don't miss from World of Warcraft, I love playing support. I love playing support. I like playing healers and buffers and stuff like that. And one of the things I hate from World of Warcraft is the mentality of go 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 go. They're just going so fast. I get so lost. I get so lost. Slice and Shock. We definitely need to come up with a new name. Slice and Shock is like too many syllables. Gosh, just brutes. If you wonder why I put brutes along with sentinels and masterminds on the top of this solo list, this is why. It's just like a hot knife through butter. I could easily put this at ×2 and not have an issue at all. Okay, sometimes when they mez me, that could be a problem. If they get a good mez in on me, sure. Let's see what you guys are saying here. I'm a solo player. Follower dungeons for the win in the latest expansions. How much WoW do you play, Uncle Sloth? And what do you think of the delves? Have you done a lot of delves? But yeah, the follower dungeons is definitely moving that direction. Ouch. Oh, there is somebody up there. Oh, he's a little guy. How cute is that? Little guy hurts. And that is that. That almost got a little ugly there. Yes, really like the delves too. I play about 4 to 6 hours a week. So I really do like a lot of the stuff that they're doing in World of Warcraft. I may not like the community, and unfortunately it breaks my heart that, you know, the 5-man dungeons that I used to play are now go, 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 instead of like, oh wait, we need to wait for the healer, otherwise we're gonna die. But I like a lot of the solo and small group stuff that they're doing nowadays in WoW, because it does speak to my introverted heart. 14, yeah, they've added dungeon support for, and nearly all optional dungeons now you can run solo with NPCs. Yes, 14 has that as well, with the AI people helping you out. But what they don't have are delves. Do you know about delves, KSE? Never heard of delves. So what delves are, and I think they're kind of brilliant, sort of. So what they are is, and it's kind of like the way story arcs work here in City of Heroes, in that you go into these dungeons and they are for like, 1 to 3 people or whatever it is. If you go in by yourself, well, I think even if you're going with 3 people, there's also an NPC helper. And you can, and it will adjust if you have more than one person. But as you go through a delve, it's kind of like a mini dungeon, mini raid. They'll actually have bosses with mechanics and everything. And it's actually training you to play the harder parts of the game. As you beat each tier, you'll get good gear, and you'll gear up like you were doing raids. And you can do harder and harder difficulties, which give you better and better loot. But they don't just, the difficulties don't just make the numbers go up. They actually have different mechanics. One of the most interesting things I thought they've done is, the question is, what happens if you're playing a healer? Because if you're playing, like, let's say DPS, then the NPC will be a tank. If you're a tank, the NPC will be DPS. Or you could be a healer. You can pick. But what happens when you're a healer? Because if you pick the DPS NPC, he'll die too quick. If you play the tank NPC, then you're healing, or he's not going to kill fast enough, and eventually you're going to run out of mana. So how did they solve this? I thought it was pretty cool. What they did is they made it to where the NPC, if you put him in tank mode, but you overheal him, the more you overheal him, the better his attack gets. So it turns your healing into raw damage. And I thought that was pretty brilliant through the NPC. So I thought that was a pretty cool way to handle it. But it's really small group scaling stuff, and they've made it one of their in-game pillars, because they've always had PvP and raids as kind of an in-game progression, right? That gets better and better armor. And then a number of years back, they started adding these, what I think they're called like mythic tier dungeons or heroic dungeons or whatever, that would also start dropping just below it would be a gear score that's just below the raid, but it was part of your in-game progression. Like, you need to go practice in these dungeons before you come over to the raids and get the better gear from them. Now delves are part of that. But they're integrating them really well to teach you the mechanics. So what some raid guilds are doing is they're sending their people to practice in the delves first and get geared up at the same time, because it will give them the gear they need to do the harder raids. So I thought that was all pretty cool. Yeah. But it sells it a little short to, to just simply say, hey, it's a one-man, two-man dungeon. It's got some interesting mechanics. There's also like some or some different rules and stuff, like almost like a roguelike sometimes when you enter them, that you'll have to deal with on the occasion. And every run has like a little bit of randomization to it, so it doesn't feel like they're exactly the same. And that's on top of the fact that the higher difficulties will tend to have different mechanics anyways for like how the bosses act and stuff. Yeah. And because it's an in-game system, you are getting the weekly vault gear, which is, if you don't know, it's like one of the major ways to get the in-game gear is when you participate in certain activities every week, you get a piece of super, high-end gear depending on what you've tackled that week. It keeps track of what you did that week. So it is now tied into all of that. So again, very, very cool. And they definitely are listening to the fact that a lot of people don't want to play with big groups or even 5-man groups anymore. They don't want to play pickup groups. They want to play with just 1 or 2 friends or solo and still feel like that they're part of the story, still feel like they're getting a full, expansion's worth, and not feel like, well, I'm not doing the biggest thing in the game, which are the raids, if I'm not part of a guild and putting up with all that drama. Hey, Frieden, how are you doing today? Now, let's see here. Uncle Sloth, have you heard about my hot conspiracy theory regarding these, what are they called when the automated dungeons or whatever, the added dungeon supports or whatever have you? The NPCs that you can take through the normal dungeons. Have you heard about my conspiracy theory there? But it's a different kind of game, and it's very much a story, not a rush to the end game like WoW. Well, okay, sure, but KSE, I played through A Realm Reborn, and a big part of that put me to sleep. And then the ending was really cool, though, and it had me like on the edge of my seat. I think it wasn't the ending of the Realm Reborn, but it was like the 0.1 expansion or whatever. And then I think you go into Heavensward after that. And that had some good moments to it. And then I got to Stormblood, and I just couldn't. It's so long. And the big problem here, KSE, is that it isn't optional. So Guild Wars, I think, does this so much better. Guild Wars 2 does this so much better. But it forces you to go through the story to play with your friends at the end. So if all your friends are in the dungeons at the end, you have to play through expansions of story, or you can pay to get past it, right? In World of Warcraft, they do speed you past it, to your point, but that's so you can go and play with your friends. If you want to do all the story content, you sort of can. It's not very well put together. It is clunky, and some of the story, quite frankly, isn't worth doing. Final Fantasy XIV arguably may have a better story, but that's got a big asterisk on it because it's taken this good story, in my opinion, and dragging it out so long that there's a lot of pacing issues, and I have no choice but to trudge through those pacing issues. I literally have over 200 hours in Final Fantasy, and I still feel like I'm no closer to ever being able to play with my friends in the end game because there's so much muckety-muck that I have to get through. Yeah. So, yeah, well, that's a rough sell to tell somebody you have to get through dozens, if not hundreds of hours of dry spells before you get to where the real, right? That's even worse than World of Warcraft, to where the real story begins. Whether it's the real game or the real story, telling players they have to go through 100, 200 hours to get to it is not a great solution in the year 2026 of our Lord and Savior. That's the problem. I love it. It's a gorgeous looking game, but I also hate it. The pacing is killing me, man. I'm too old for that shiz. It is, oof. It is rough. It is rough. And honestly, as much as I enjoy some of the moments of Heavensward, there was also some very boring moments. And riding around a chocobo, looking for things, and a chocobo's slow. It's not like flying around in some of these other games. It is slow. So yeah, no. It's rough. Well, yeah, your friends can, but do they really want to? Yeah, sure they can. And they already, the thing is, I would rather be up there experiencing the new content with them and we're all learning it together than have them come back down and with me and do content they've already done 112 times. There's no surprise there for them. We want to share the surprise together. If we go and buy a new game together, we can experience the joy of a new game together. If we play World of Warcraft and we all buy the new expansion together, we can enjoy that together, enjoy the new memories together that we're going to create. But in Final Fantasy XIV, if two of us have been playing it for years and are already up to the current expansion, two of us haven't, and we all buy the new expansion at the same time, two of us have to spend a lot of months helping these guys go through a story arc that we've already been through before. Now, I think Guild Wars 2 does this really, really well. Guild Wars 2, once you beat the main campaign, or you don't have to beat the main campaign, you just need to get up to level 80, and it's not that hard to do. You can go and do any parts of the story in whatever order that you want, or you can join your friends in the end game. The world is your oyster, but there is tangible, great rewards for going back and doing the old story content. And it's still relevant, and it's still challenging, even though you're level 80, right? And so it does it a lot better than WoW, because you can't really do that with WoW. Once you're 80, you can go back and do the old quest, but you're just going to smash everything because you're like level 80 and they're like level 20. And not to mention that world is empty. Because of the way Guild Wars is set up, all of the old content is pretty well occupied. So, I really do like the way Guild Wars 2 has set it up. Now, I think Guild Wars 2, if you're playing through the story one chapter at a time, which is what we've been trying to do, it has similar story pacing issues. I think most of these MMOs do. And I keep hearing, Phil, the story gets better later on. I believe people. I've seen people on stream move to tears by Guild Wars 2 story. But the parts I'm going through right now, it's hard for me to go like, oh, I'm dying to do the next story. You know? All right, you ready for my Uncle Sloth? Here is my conspiracy theory with World of Warcraft. So you know how they've been doing the war bands, right? And now you have the login screen where all your characters are together. You have the warband bound armor now. You have all these things that are... WoW has become a lot more alt-friendly. So much more alt-friendly. They're clearly tying in more and more to the solo casual gamer. And while still keeping a lot of raids and stuff for the hardcore people, it's still there for you guys who want it. And they're still making new stuff for you guys. But the warbands and the shared... now they share quest progression. Now they share achievements. Now they share, you got easy shared bank account, right? The warbands have been a huge focus, right? All right, who's shooting me from up here, you son of a gun? I hate these things. I hate you, and I hate you, and I hate you, and I hate you. He ran away, didn't he? Come down here. Jeez. This is the best you can do to come down here? There. Yeah. So here's my secret conspiracy theory, Uncle Sloth. I think they're gonna make it possible in a future expansion soon that you're going to be able to run with your alts through dungeons or delves. Give it some thought. Let that percolate for a minute. There's our elite boss over there. Let's see if we can do this without using too many inspirations here. I think that in the near future, they're going to make it to where you're going to be able to take your warband into a delver dungeon with you. Because your companions will be run by AI, just like the dungeon companions are now. Think about it. You could have your alts with your whole warband in a delver dungeon, clearing content together. I think it's coming up in an expansion in the not too distant future. Oh. What am I doing? I gotta destroy this thing. There we go. That would be an interesting twist. I wonder if they would share the XP too. Well, XP isn't really a big issue in this game anymore, right? Because you get to max level pretty easy and whatever have you, and whatnot. So XP is hardly a big consideration with these guys anymore. But yeah, maybe all your characters would get XP. Maybe they would get. Maybe your AI controlled guys would only get a quarter XP, right? One question that would come up is like, well, wait a minute. If you could do all 4 of your characters, that'd be like triple boxing in City of Heroes, right? You'd be making all this extra gold or whatever have you, maybe. But keep in mind, like in City of Heroes, if one character gets 100 gold when soloing or whatever influence when soloing, if there's 2 people in a group, they only get 62 each. If there's 3 people in a group, they only get 50 each, right? For a total of 150. It's not like it triples the drop from each monster, but then again, I guess you're killing 3 times as many monsters, so yeah, they might have to rein in that money a bit. They might, but that could be something they could easily adjust. They absolutely could. And whatnot. And the relevant story arc, have you seen the Praetorian version of Fusion and Fault Line? I know they show up in a task force, but I'm not sure what other arcs. Yeah, I can't say I have. I have done my share of Praetorian stuff. I should make one of these characters Praetorian is what I should do. One of the new ones I made up and just run through Praetorian again. But no, I haven't. And of course, you can do the Praetorian story arcs through Ouroboros as well. But no, I haven't. I don't remember any. Yeah. But they could certainly reduce XP and gold and drops as necessary in order to maintain some semblance of balance. So what do you guys think of this electric Wolverine Wolverette? What do you guys think of that? I don't know if there's a super synergy with energy or not. It is a pretty good armor, and she's got pretty good resistances and stuff. It seems fine to me so far. What do you guys think? It always seemed to me be kind of cool to have like Wolverine's claws, but you can punch and have electricity just go through you and get into the enemy while you're punching them. That was my character concept, anyways. But I should probably work on that concept. Ooh, I do need some more villains here. Alright. We need to turn a couple of these, at least one of these to a villain, which... Maybe Rena Frost to a villain. And some of the coolest name badges are for Praetorians only. That's fair. That's fair. Absolutely. I am debating which one I want to get to 50. Donatello or Tiny Tank. Sudden Shakalaka has actually been kind of fun too. But I need to take one of these and really work on leveling them up. And it needs to be one who does pretty good DPS, which all of them probably do pretty good DPS. But I do need to get one of these guys up. Let me move that one up there. Oh, this one was working on Positron. Oh, lovely. Nothing could possibly go wrong with this one. Well, she's doing the overhand on the staff too, so I was probably being a little too picky earlier. Steel Canyon. Hey, Roel, how are you doing today? How's it going? Ah. How's it going? How's it going? Oh, and we had a lot of, let me just take a look, because we had a lot of comments on the AI question I put up. Excuse me. So let's see if there's any more of those guys. Let's see here. Hi, Phil. I just discovered your channel through an algorithm recommendation because earlier I was researching possible superhero MMOs that are still active. As a software engineer student in Brazil, AI is one of the subjects that fascinates me the most. But I don't see the same perspective from my colleagues. Many of them try to sabotage its use in the classrooms. Perhaps if they tried to understand the current era we live in, so much ignorance wouldn't be spread. After all, the fourth industrial revolution began 15 years ago, and things like robotics, IoT, big data, and AI are nothing new. Your channel's great. Keep up the good work, and God bless you too. You hear that, Peter? Let's see here. Let's see here. It's not that AI uses electricity, but it's how much is needed. It's so costly, it's insane. And of course, those billion-dollar companies building these data centers aren't paying for that because they're in the pockets of our politicians. So the cost gets passed on to the communities around them. On top of that, they're built in lower-income communities, people who really don't need that. Then there's a loss of water pressure, which forces people in those communities to buy bottled water for everyday use. It's suddenly like they're stuck in a third world country. Oh, wow. I don't know anything about that. That got a lot of thumbs up, but I can't say I know a whole lot about it. But what are you going to do? You think that's going to change at all if you stop using AI? I think people are still going to build where they're going to build, and hopefully the local governments and stuff shouldn't let them do that if they're ruining people's lives. What kind of local government is letting them get away with that? That seems kind of silly. I've never used them before. Now looking at it, the influence should be reported. Should I be concerned about that? No, Uncle Sloth, and I'll tell you why. Let's see here. So usually for doing, I'll tell you why. Normally for doing like a mobs, like let's say you're going through a mission at level 10 or 15, you're barely getting a few thousand, by running through the dungeon, maybe 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 tops. I don't know. But it's not much, right? Look at your drops and you're going to see it's not much, right? But you know what you get for doing Ouroboros and alignment missions and everything else? You get merit rewards. Merit rewards. And every one merit reward is worth 150,000. So your main form of income when playing the game should be merit rewards. So if I take a look at this character here, let's see if she has any merit rewards yet. This is a pretty new character. She has 15 merit rewards. That 15 merit rewards is worth probably well over 2 million. Okay? Now, if you played the game 1 through 15 with normal influence gains, you wouldn't have anywhere close to 1 million, period. And by the way, she's bought SO, so yeah, you wouldn't have any money. You wouldn't have any money. You'd be broke all the time. So basically for any mission you do, and I've done the math because I'm an accountant, as long as you're doing Ouroboros or alignment missions or story arcs, right? Ouroboros are just story arcs, right? They're just flashback story arcs. You should be making half a million on the average per mission from merit rewards. But the influence you're getting like from drops from enemies is so small compared to that anyways. Now when you get to the higher levels, the money from enemies becomes definitely, like on my level 50 characters that are doing like, especially when you're doing times 2 and times 3 and 4 and you're getting more enemies to drop more at once, it becomes more of a 50-50 split, or it even actually favors the drops from enemies. But by the time you're level 50, double XP doesn't work anymore, so but even in the 40s, there's definitely some argument of like, am I losing too much money? I usually let double XP turn off in the 40s, sometimes a lot earlier. It just depends on how slowly I want to level characters and earn money slowly as I level up. Now, here's another way to look at it. Let's say the money from these enemies was actually significant, and again, it really isn't. But let's just say it was. You get to 50 twice as fast. That means you're earning the level 50 income much faster. So let's say you have a character needs 40 hours to level to 50. Now with double XP, you get there in 20 hours. That means you got 20 extra hours to play level 50, where you're making a lot more money per hour and killing than you were back in level 10 or 20 or even 30. And whatever have you. Let's see. Fun fact. All data centers worldwide use a small fraction of the percent of how much water is used to farm corn in the U.S. Oh, yeah. I have no idea. I personally, I claim ignorance in these things because I haven't done enough research to really know. And I haven't done research because I don't know what it matters for me personally. If the government is incompetent enough, if the governments around the world are incompetent enough to allow AI companies to build those data centers and stuff like that. The fact that I know about it or don't know about it isn't going to change it from happening. The fact I use AI or doesn't use AI is not going to change it from happening. I think all of Americans could stop using AI and they would still build a ton of the stuff because a lot of other countries are going to continue to use it and pay for it. And there's money to be made. If America decides not to use it, then other countries will, and there's a lot more other countries out there, so. Stop the sky. Whoa, it's Skyway City. Yippee-ki-yay. Let me email this. Let me email all these big bad boys to myself. The lower level influence was originally designed to be able to afford training origin, enhancement, dual origin, so definitely follow Phil on the merit thing. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it just isn't what it used to be, man. It really isn't. That's why I point out doing newspaper missions to level up your character can be a pretty bad idea for new and casual players because you're not making money while you're doing that. Or you're making very little even if you don't have double XP turned on in those lower levels. Now, if you're being exemplared up to 49 or whatever have you, you might be making good influence off of that. I'm not super sure when you're sidekicked up. I somehow doubt all of a sudden you're making big money, but what do I know? I don't usually sidekick up. So, yeah. I know when you exemplar down, you make more money. So I think when you sidekick up, you do not, but I don't know that for a fact. Did I not get reveal on this character? Is that... Oops. Well. Let's see. The selling recipes and salvage. Hey, take care, Frieden. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, no, absolutely. I hope you're doing okay, Frieden. You were just here for a little bit, but I hope you have some fun today. Kaplunk. Alrighty. Get some of that old endurance back. Get back on the trail. Hello, scary guys. Hmm. All right. Yeah, we're just working through with the tanker tonight. Feel free to jump in chat if you have any questions or thoughts or anything you want me to answer. I'm just working through. This is Positron Story Arc, the old Positron Story Arc that you can access through Ouroboros Flashbacks. And you can walk around a big circle in the cave too. This guy always reminds me when I first started, way back on release, I didn't know about the tram. There was no mission telling you about it. Yeah, where it was common to have to sneak through high-level zones to get where you need to go. So I was sent from AP to Kings Row. I looked at the map and didn't know there's anything wrong with having to travel through a level 10 to 27 with level 5 with no travel powers. That sounds painful. They do definitely on the hero side have some quests that, if you're just doing story arcs, that can definitely take you out of your comfort zone. I think the intro goes tell you about the tram now. Very helpful. What you doing, boo? What the heck? Hot drinky.
It takes 40 minutes to make.
Oh, it's late now, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm going to teach you how to make it.
Hey, Will, when I heard the staff fighting, I was talking about a character like Boba Fett from that show. Seeing it in action is beautiful. Yeah, it really is. I do like the staff fighting a lot. We just rolled up earlier on the show. I don't know if you caught it, but I've now rolled up a staff scrapper, which will kill a lot faster. This is a tanker, so you're just not going to get fast killing out of it. But I think it's a brilliant idea to put on a scrapper because you got so many hits going on at once, and with all the crits blending in, it should be really good, nice, smooth DPS. I think one of the scrappers... In my opinion, one of the things that kind of holds scrappers back is the crit system can be mistimed, right? Like a crit will pop up when you're about to kill a minion anyways, and it's wasted. So if you can smooth those patches out by having a lot of small hits, then I think it would really blow up well. So I'm looking forward to playing that Scrapper. And by the way, if you're a new or returning player to the game, and when I say new and returning, I mean like you either just started playing within, let's say, the last month-ish, or you just returned after many years and last month-ish, raise your hand for me in the chat. I'm kind of curious how many new people we have, and I want to count returning people who are kind of like coming back after many years as being in that category. And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Phil, aka JCServant. I do a lot of YouTube videos, as you can tell from my library, on City of Heroes. I mostly do this from a casual player and solo player's perspective. I don't do a lot of high-end stuff. You'll oftentimes see me leveling lots and lots of tunes. I do have some level 50s. I have done high-end content before. I still engage in high-end content here and there. But I tend to find it more interesting most of the time to play some of the different low-level characters that I got. Yo. So we got a couple at least. Oh, let me get this guy here. That's kind of weird. I'm returning. I played retail a little on Homecoming when it was released, but your videos really got me back into it. Oh, nice, nice, nice. That's good to hear. And I could definitely show you, if anybody needs to see, like, what are some of the new kind of power set thingies that Homecoming have added over the last couple of years. I have several examples that I can show you from those. A lot of them, the ones that I have, are in the controller category. And then I think I got like psionic armor now on one of my sentinels, so that was kind of added. That's a little hard to really show off because it's psionic armor, so it's not very, it's not very offensive. But hey, there we go. Sonic melee. I have that now on one of my tankers, so that's kind of interesting. It's not as flashy, but when was staff added to the game? That's a good question. I need to look that up when I'm done with this little group right here. You can see a tanker. One question I have for those of you who've been playing for a while, like recently for a while, not like 20 years ago a while. But anyways, what do you guys think of the killing speed of this tanker compared to other tankers? And what do you think about it compared to other ATs that you've soloed from what you've seen me play so far? And I'm going to look up to see when staff was added. Staff mastery was added. Staff fighting, whatever. Do 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 do. Let's see. So it was added to the game for brutes, scrappers, stalkers, and tankers for issue as an update for issue 22, which was towards the end of Live there, right? It was a major revision to the City of Heroes Freedom when Freedom was out there. So it was still part of Live, but it was one of the last things they added. Yeah, you're right. KSC already read ahead. Yeah, this is a tank. This is a tank. So I'm kind of curious what you guys think of the killing speed of this as a tanker and as a yes, and overall compared to, brutes, scrappers, whatever, and to your taste, right? Do you feel like this is good enough killing speed for you? Do you feel like this is too slow? I doubt any of you are going to write in and say that is too fast, I just can't keep up. OM quadruple G, I can never play that, that's just too insane. This is just killing too quickly. Yeah, you're not going to probably hear that from anybody, but, I can dream. I can't tell if there's a second floor here or not. Defeat the mage and his guards. Oh, well, here's a guy. We'll kill him. It's possible. Hey, Magnus, welcome. Well, you haven't answered my questions, Magnus. I appreciate your thoughts on the tanker class, but you haven't answered the question. Or the questions. Okay, that lieutenant guy is down. Not too shabby there, maybe for a lieutenant. I feel like there's like a kill-all, and they're not telling me it's a kill-all. I love your hey Moose, how are you doing today? I love your characters to conceptualize. I find many seem haphazard. Also a new player, welcome. Yeah, well, I'm glad you like them. I try to come up with, you know, usually it's for, you know, with some sort of concept. I did a video saying how I come up with the new characters for all the 800 alts that I have, and what my process is on that. My thought process is on that. We definitely have some different sources, and we try to be consistent, but I also try to be quick. So this, you know, if I like this character a lot, then eventually I'll tighten up the look of the character some more and spend a couple of hours instead of just 20 minutes or less. But yeah, we definitely try to make it look like it's a real character from a comic or a TV show or something. So, let's see here. Well, welcome back, or welcome to the game, I should say. And I hope you find a lot of fun in it, because I love this game, as you can tell. And there's some people up there. I think I found some new bad guys. And they just volunteered for the Staff of Pain. So, wow, he looks like he's wigging out there. Boop, dead. I see another little guy. Oh, where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? Come back here. No, come back here. I'm gonna taunt you. Get over here. I really don't know what happened to the one I taunted. Low XP if you play them like a scrapper, and scrappers are dead if you play them like a tank. You still haven't quite answered my questions, Magnus, right? I appreciate your advice. I wasn't asking specifically on advice on how to play and solo a tanker, right? What I'm asking is for this particular build that I'm doing here, right, which is Staff Bio, as you guys are watching and following along, and for you more experienced players out there, what's your personal opinion in terms of, do you feel that this particular build is holding up to other tankers? Do you feel like it's faster, slower? And how do you feel that it feels, versus, like, let's say when you're soloing other ATs? Do you feel like tankers are too slow overall, but this one's okay? Or do you feel like, no, tankers are too slow overall, that you can't enjoy it, and this one's no exception? That's what I'm kind of looking for from people. I'm trying to figure out, does this look fast enough for you to want to solo, or is it too slow compared to your other ATs? If I see it to be a lot more fun and intuitive, right? Yeah, champions. I hear it's kind of rough in Champion Land. I do. I hear it's kind of rough in Champion Land. I still don't know exactly what this game wants for me. This one, it must be a kill-all. It's the only thing I can think of where I missed a ghost somewhere in the final room, which I've already looked over like 3 times. Caves. Am I right? We all hate them. If you know, you know. Aha! I found some enemies. Here they are. Yeah. Alright, stay right there, boys. Because you're in good formation for one of these deals. Okay, that one's gone. Alright, I'm used to being the meat shield. You know, the thing is when you're soloing, you're almost always a meat shield. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he be dead. Whack, whack, whack. I have found the land flowing with milk and honey here in terms of enemies. Come on over, everybody. Come join the rest of the group. Top 3 most annoying rooms, and yeah. You're not wrong, KSC. You're not wrong. Enhancement converter found. There's an extra 50, 60,000 influence worth right there too. Oh yeah, the freaking birthday cake cave is the worst. I like that name for it, by the way, Cassie. The whatever. I had an overall mini scrapper dark region claws region. Oh, that's a lot of words there. So here's my take so far on playing this tanker, and it might change as I get into higher levels because things change at higher levels, and whatnot. But so far, solo wise, this has been pretty decent experience. So my impression that the tankers I've run in the past are too slow for me to enjoy. I basically have a rule that you got to be able to beat a lieutenant under 10 hits, or you're just too weak to play the game or whatever. It gets boring for me. I'll put it that way. It just gets boring for me to solo that character and whatnot. So, and in trying this build. So far, I do seem to be getting through the lieutenants faster than 10 hits, mostly. So it's been working out pretty good. Bio is clearly doing some heavy lifting there by giving me a 25% damage boost in exchange for, obviously, half of my defense. So here's a lieutenant right here. Let's see how many hits it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. 1, 2, 3, 4... Waiting for recharges. 5, 6. So definitely better than 10. I've shown streams where I've seen tankers literally take 14 hits to kill something. And it has the cool look of the staff. I love staffs. Like my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle has always been Donatello. Because you have the reach, you have the spinning, watching the spinning and how they spin it around so much faster. To me, it's much more cooler than going like this with a bunch of swords. Or spinning around a bunch of nunchuck. And I don't even know what Raphael does with the sai. He just kind of twirls them in his fingers a bit. But Donatello with the staff could do some really cool moves. So I've always been a big fan of staff. And I feel like they do a decent job of capturing that here with the animation. So there is that. Oh my gosh. Do I have fly on this character? Like a jetpack? Yeah, give me that jetpack. Gosh, I swear this cave is like the worst. Whoever came up with I love it, the 5-layer cake dungeon. Again, you're an evil, twisted, maniacal person. You should seek counseling. Yeah, can you imagine this on a Scrapper Princess? Because it would it's going to do significantly more damage. And it's just going to be great. It's just going to be fantabulous. 5-layer cake is driving me crazy. 5-layer cake, you are so evil. Oh gosh, what the farfanoogan is that? 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, he's a tough guy. I have no advice about tankers because I never tried, because it's like what you're talking about now. Yeah, so my question is, my question isn't so much about your advice. My question is, as you're watching this from the viewers, as you guys are watching as viewers, do you feel like, if you play this game a bit, you know, obviously if you're brand new coming back to the game, you may not have points of reference. But for those of you who've been playing for a while, do you feel like this is a killing speed that you can live with? Do you feel it compares with any of your other archetypes that you play? Like maybe a Dominator, right? Like Dominators don't kill super fast. You know, they're all about control, but they do kill things slowly. Finally got through all that. Oh, by the way, is what's his name still there? Uncle Sloth, are you still there? So yeah, I think it's a pretty cool set. I like the way the character looks. Actually, did come out pretty decent. Probably see if I could find some glowing pants or boots to match some for glowing stuff on here. But on the other hand, the fact that everything doesn't glow is probably good too. Bio armor is probably shining a bit too much on her, but I think we can turn some of that off. Bio armor always has kind of a weird look to it, so that's kind of a thing. Okay, so Sloth, if you take a look here, and let me see if I can get a place to where I'm not going to be attacked here, because now I'm being attacked. Oh, good grief. Okay, hopefully I can stay here for a second and not aggro anything. Okay, so if you see here, I'm only getting 40. So her double XP is turned off, which I need to fix that. But we're talking 47 influence, 270 influence, 47, 230, 230, 47, 230, right? These are very small amounts compared to what you'll get from merit rewards. Just very, very small. This story arc that I'm on now plays a lot of merit rewards. I think like 50 or something like that. And each one is worth 150,000. So up to 200,000 really. So that's what I was saying. You can turn off double XP and not worry about this. So it's just interesting that her double XP kind of ran out, which I'm gonna go re-up that now before I forget. And as a result, she's just not making a whole lot of money from drops. Now that does change at higher levels, of course, when you get to 50 in particular. But even in the 40s, you really start to see some shifting around. So, yeah, this does seem to kill faster than many of the other tankers I played in the past. And it does cross the threshold for me into something I would be fine soloing all the way to 50 as long as the speed keeps up. Now, of course, I'll make sure to improve the enhancements to make sure it keeps competitive. We could definitely put another damage into each one of these. I've already put 3 damages into Rage of the Storm or Eye of the Storm. So we'll continue to work on that. Yeah, is his high deal as fire or bio rad? Yeah, when it comes to soloing just through the content, I'm not an expert enough to know whether like a fire would clear content faster. I know it's meta, but I don't know, how it would work, in terms of clearing, overall content faster. Probably would do just fine. Of course it'll do just fine. The question is, do you feel like it'll do as fine as bio staff? Probably the same, probably a little better. Kind of hard to say. But I would suggest, like, if someone's coming new to me and says, hey, I want to solo a tank, what's some suggestions? I would definitely have fire on the list. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Pocket D access is now on that list. Yeah, oh yeah, it's been there. Yeah, since I've been back in a long time. Yeah. And you can buy smart start vendor stuff, even if you're on a task force like I am, or a story arc, I should say. But you can't do it from the start vendor in Atlas Park, so that's why I came here. Do make sure, though, if you're soloing a tanker, make sure you buy some Envenom daggers, because they stop enemy regeneration. And tankers do low damage, so if you're fighting a boss that's regenerating, you want to make sure you really put a stick in that. So unless you got something else to shut down their regen, I suggest you bring along some of these daggers, Envenom daggers. All right, let me buy some more. Oh my gosh! Stop clicking, Phil. And then I came here to get double XP. That's what I came here for. That's what I'm going to buy. Let's see here. I see what you're talking about on the... Yeah, in fact, let me show you. I'll show you. For those of you new and wondering what I'm talking about in terms of making money and whatnot... I should plan conceptualize instead of simply opening of the hero character. Thanks for that. Oh, I appreciate that, Moose. You're very nice and sweet about this. And we'll switch characters here in a minute. We'll take a look at a few of my characters and pick a different one. But yeah. Auras are definitely very helpful when it comes to soloing tankers. Absolutely. Particularly when you get up to higher numbers and stuff. And what have you. Oh, it's Prince Balefire. Oh. That guy's... Well, that is pretty impressive. I have to say, he's impressive. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come to the merit vendor. And we're going to go to salvage. And we're going to buy a whole bunch of these enhancement converters to get her some cash. Okay. Gonna go ahead and use them all because I'll get plenty of merits later, so I don't mind spending them all now. Gonna go to auction house. And if I go to my salvage and open that up, I have now 46 converters. Let's say I bring a couple of those over. They're going for 52,000. If I sell them for only one, I'll get the highest bidder, which right now is about 52,000. And they should sell... They sold for a total of 104. 52 times 2 is 104. So that just doubled her money. Now, if you're willing to be a little more patient, you can make more money, right? So if I go in here and I stick 10 in there, we have seen them before sell for 60,000. So if I want to be more patient, I could put these in at like 59,000 each, and they'll probably eventually sell at that amount. Now there is a posting fee of 29,000 because it's times 10. It's 5% of this, and if I don't sell them, then I'll lose that 5%. But if they do sell, then that's good. Let's see here. So we'll post those. And those will just sit there selling until somebody makes a bid for 59,000. So if somebody wants converters right away, and I'm one of those people, sometimes I want my converters, I want them right away, I'll pay the premium price. Now there's other ways you can use converters to make money, such as converting, you can convert formulas to get more expensive, or enhancements to get more expensive enhancements. So there are ways. There are definitely ways to get a lot of money by playing the auction house and whatever the case may be. And I got videos on that, or I could sit here and go through it tonight if we really want me to lecture you for... It takes a lot longer to explain that, though, because it's a complicated process. But you can make a lot of money off the auction house. Yeah, definitely. So if we take a look at take a look at some characters here. Unstoppable Firebug was actually a pretty fun one. I got a bug concept, Firebug, no less. And this one's been a lot of fun to play. Voltaic Veil, that was somebody had wrote in and said, hey, you should make an Electric Blast Ionic Armor Sentinel, since you like Sentinels. And they said it was really good synergy. So I was kind of looking through the character creator, and I saw that one of the presets is a metallic-y, type of thing. So I said, well, what if that was like an evil metallic, creature that's kind of out to get you, and it has psionic powers, like, is there really a person underneath, or has machines figured out how to access like mind control powers and stuff? So, the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And you got that silver look, and you got that mask. When I saw that mask, like, there's a face behind that mask. Like, you're looking at it, you can see the darkness, like the eye sockets are in there. Is there a machine behind those eyes? Like, it just kind of came together. So that one worked really well. Like, Stonefall here is obviously just a rip on Avalanche from the X-Men, from the Rogue Gallery. Yes, Silver Surfette. Oh no, you didn't say that. No, that's funny. The really interesting thing here is also her hair. I picked a haircut. I didn't want to go like a full-on real helmet, right? But I wanted the haircut to look like it was like metal. I wanted her hair to look like it was made out of metal. And so that was the best haircut I could find to pull that off. So fun little fact. And you'll see there's horns coming out of it right there. So it gives it more of a facade that's not real hair, but rather a helmet, a metal kind of, hair-shaped object on her head. So, yeah. With Kim Archer, and this is her street clothes with Kim Archer, of course, I've talked about her a lot. She's the concept of Kim Possible and Kate Archer from No One Lives Forever, 007 agent. So making her superhero outfit was just just a deal of pulling off that, Yeah, there you go. Freezer burns from my comics, half fire, half ice, and really I just kind of the fire flame things kind of wrote itself. He's got a color reverse of that that's all red and blue as well. So. And this was, speaking of throwaway characters, this was just, there's a cowboy preset in the system. I might have tweaked it a little, and I just made this as a quick throwaway character, and now I can't stop playing it. So now they're level 33. She's level 33. This is actually a pretty fun assault rifle tactical arrow. It's actually a pretty fun blaster combo. It's actually pretty fun. Polite Punisher, right? There's the Victorian outfits, and I was looking to make an Arsenal Control character, so he's going to use a gun and stuff. I saw this preset. I was like, it kind of inspired me. I go, what if there was somebody who's like the Punisher, but he thinks he's a dapper gentleman, and thinks the Punisher is just a crude barbarian. They both have the similar approaches to dealing with people that come against them, right? So yeah, but not all my characters look great. Like, this one's just a whip up, and I haven't played this character hardly at all, but I need to like fix the, I'm not happy with the look on this at all. But like I said, it's just a placeholder. I don't even know if I like that character. Same thing with kind of Void Reactor. Actually, I'm very unhappy with the way Void Reactor has been playing, and I'm thinking that it might be better as a controller. So I might save the look and re-roll this as a controller. I mean, look-wise, for a Gravity character, it probably looks fine for now. Could use some tweaking and whatnot. Yeah, with Flicker Fuse, we definitely went for a fairy theme. And Arctic Bride, oh my gosh, when I saw there was like a wedding-y, dressy type of setting in here, I was like, this is perfect for a controller villain, right? She was left at the altar, by her fiance, and her heart turned to ice. Now everyone will suffer the pain and embarrassment she did when she was left there. She is art. That's when her powers manifested. You always hear about mutants, their powers coming out when they are under, you know, like stress and growing up, like someone pushing them around or something. With her, it was when she was left at the altar, you know. Yuki, you totally missed. We did a 30-minute video earlier on it today. You completely missed it. But it will be going up on YouTube so shortly, so you'll be able to watch it again. But I use Gemini. I do use Gemini. Yeah. So Voidling Doll is actually, you know, is supposed to be like a cursed doll come to life. You know, there's Pinocchio. You know, you've heard the story of Pinocchio. And then there's Voidling Doll. So, yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of fun coming up with concepts. We do. Roots of Stars, it's a big twig character. You know? Just a big twig. A big skinny twig. Kind of an enchanted tree-like creature. I forget what they're called. Treant. An enchanted treant. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you can ask about it. If any of these catch your eye, I have artwork on every single one of them, just about. Like even Root of Sorrow here, right? We have Root of Sorrow right here. There's Root of Sorrow. So we have artwork on all these guys. Totally. This one I want to work on a little bit more. This is probably 80% there, but not 100%. And I'm coming up with a little. I like the way this one plays. Actually, so this is like a Banshee, right? So we have Sonic Attack with Dark Miasma Corruptor, and we'll give her more of a bit of a Ghost Widow look and change some of the coloration. I love the holograms here. You know, magical, you know, type of stuff. And let's see if I have some artwork for that one. Nix. Boom. Right? Yeah. Oh, lost his arms. There you go, Chris. Chris has got it all, or Karis has it all thought out. Nice. Yeah. So I don't know if that tail's going to stay there or not. I don't know. If, I really, at first, you know, like I said, I usually just kind of like go really quick with character creation. You know, you usually go with the concept and then you just quickly make it changes. And I don't even think I noticed that she had a tail, you know, because, you know, I'm using like presets and a little bit of random generation and stuff. And I don't even think I realized that she had one. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep that. You know, now that kind of says if you got a tail, you know, are you really not human? So I'd have to think about that some more and flesh out this character some more. Since it's not based on, like, half of my characters are based off of other comic book characters, either my own or like DC's and stuff like that. And I would kind of use that as kind of the reference. Oh, look, she's got... Yeah, see, that's from the randomness, too. She's got jet boots. She should not have that. But this one was just more like I really wanted to... Someone had brought up making a Banshee like a character. So the concept is a Banshee and whatnot. And so I'll look into it and see if the Banshees are supposed to have tails or if they ever have tails. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Costume changes aren't too expensive anyways, but yeah, they're cheaper when you're lower level and they're free before level 10, absolutely. We'll do one more mission and then I think I'll go to bed. I'll be streaming tomorrow some more, guys, so I hope you'll join me tomorrow. And I'll be working on some videos. We need to do some more story videos and some character spotlight videos, so I got a lot to keep me busy. I hope you guys like... Screaming like a Banshee. Yeah, no, that's what she does. She does a lot of screaming. I love screaming characters. So I love Banshee from the X-Men. I love his, I believe it's his daughter, Siren. I love Black Canary from DC Comics. That's why my Dominator is Symphony Control martial artist. Yeah, no, you can absolutely have some fun with that, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that first to kind of fear them and then start having some fun there. There's some Scourge for ya. How about a little siren song? Yeah, now he's taking a nice little siesta. Yeah. You listen to me while I play? Yeah, I like to listen to things while I play too. Either sometimes a streamer or a TV show or audiobook. But since I'm usually streaming or recording stuff, I don't often... There's a lot of enemies here, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I often don't get to do as much as I like. You gotta hate it when you miss that. Let me heal myself here. You know, this is a really big group, and she is pulling it off. Slowly but surely, it's getting done. Wow, that was pretty epic. Got through that without dying. That was insane. Yeah. Solo and small groups, it's where it's at, guys. Not, big groups. They're good for some people, but not for me. We've had people in this channel really try to pressure me into it. I do the one big group a week on Mondays. So tomorrow we'll open up to a big group again for a task force. The details are on our server. First come, first serve type of deal, or I figure it out randomly or whatever, but that's it. That's all I have in me for the week. Was Sonic on the servers back in the day? I don't think so, but we can fact check that in just a momentito. Let me just finish killing off these guys here. Let's take a look at Sonic Attack. Sonic Attack, that is a standard power set for blasters, corruptors, and sentinels, and a secondary set for defenders. Let's see here. It was added to... Whoa, the set was added for blasters and defenders in issue 5. And it was included with the original release of corruptors in issue 6. The set was included with the release of sentinels in issue 25. That's Homecoming. The set was reworked in issue 7, page 4, to limit resist debuff stacking across different powers. The set was reworked in issue 28, page 2 to make each power's resist debuff non-stacking with itself while allowing resist debuff stacking across different powers. So, go figure. So yeah, it's been around for a while. It's been reworked, but apparently it's been around for a while. Symphony Control. So Symphony Control, I can show you that real quick. Symphony Control. Symphony Control was added in issue 27, page 4. So that's brand new. And that is a controllery type of power. So I'll show a little bit of that. Then I'll go to bed. Because then I'll get some sleep. Yeah, but Sonic's been around. Sonic's been around. I had to look it up. I don't remember either. I had to quick phone a friend. So you're not the only one. So Symphony Control, right here with our totally blue Lazuli, who isn't here to compete with Black Canary at all, right? And this is a fun power set. This is really, really fun. Yeah, so it's a debuff set, right? The Sonic Screams that you see reduces resistance and whatnot. Now, I will say, I will point out here just kind of the obvious. Somebody has to say it, so I have to say it because I'm the one streaming it. I have no clue these leotards that she's wearing, how it goes right up her behind crack like that. Like normally it'd be spread a little bit more unless you've really got it jammed in there. So but I have no control over. I have no clue what the artists at City of Heroes, are thinking. Anyways, let's do a tip mission real quick. Okay, and we're gonna fly on over there. Whoosh. She got something going on there. I don't know what it is, but so you can see, like, for the look of this character, this is obviously inspired by a certain DC character that's totally not Black Canary, and whatnot. But it works as a look pretty darn well, and it kind of really kind of shows off. In a way, shows off she's a singer and a martial artist at the same time, right? You could see like a leotard outfit if she was on Broadway singing or whatever, but then the leather jacket and the punching gloves showing her martial arts style. Now normally I don't like melee attacks on my squishy characters, but it actually works out really, really good here. We're gonna go ahead and do that to this guy, which we're gonna confuse him. We're gonna dominate this guy over here, and we're gonna start doing all kinds of martial arts stuff and just kicking people around. So the idea is that you generally will go ahead and stun them first or control them first, and then you're going to have fun just beating the crud out of them with martial arts. And the martial arts does significant damage. One of the things that caught my attention was early on you get a couple of nice AoEs. That's unusual because Dominators don't get a lot of AoEs. They really, really don't. I can bring out my pet, by the way. We got a pet. I can just group hold them all. Oh, looks like we have a volunteer not to be group held, so he's going to get confused. And he'll become one of our minions to help us now, just basically beat everybody up with martial arts. Oh, and they're all dead just like that. Like, that's how good it is. It is a really, really fun, really fun thing. Oh, I love Dazzler. Sadly, there's not a light power set in this game. The closest I've come is like Force energy. So, yeah, this character has no problem handling default difficulty. I could probably bump this up to ×2 and just start getting some more XP per hour as I'm working through things. But really has no problem just getting through most of the default stuff. Now, we do have some interesting things going on here because we've got a high density of stuff and we've got oranges and what have you. So the thing about down is you just got to be careful and plan your stuff out when you're clearly outnumbered. And maybe, I don't know, confuse some of them. And then when one gets close, we'll just go ahead and have our way with him. If you confuse the force field generator, he'll start protecting you, which is really hilarious. And that's what you do. You sow chaos, and then you just get in there and you start throwing fists while they're all fighting each other. And it's just great. Now, sometimes it is a bit risky. Like, 'cause sometimes you'll think they're all under control, and some of them have gotten out of control, and then they start hitting on you again, and you're squishy. So you got to be a little careful. And that's what playing a Dahmer is all about. So you just saw me take apart that very tough situation. That's something that maybe my Brute would have struggled with. And we got through that rather easily. And I just love the whole BAM martial arts. It's just so much fun. Yeah. Who's my favorite Teen Titan? Raven. Raven, without hesitation. I'm always kind of a fan of anybody who's like low energy because I tend to be low energy and I like being low energy and yeah. Plus I think she's a really interesting character. And honestly, I think she could take on the rest of the Teen Titans herself and, you know. Oh, speaking of being squishy, I am not as control in that situation as I like to think I am. I didn't realize I was getting my butt kicked. That was a little close there. I didn't realize I was having some health issues. Starfire is really, really cool. Like, Starfire is a very solid, you know, second place for me. I love, like, in the cartoon, I just, now I watched the cartoon that came out first, not the new one where they all look super chibi and it's a big joke. And I always liked how she was, like, very naive yet from a different planet. It was a good mix, like, in the writing of her character. It was like a really, really good mix. And obviously she's very powerful. And whatnot, and yeah, so she comes across like a Sentinel to me, and I love Sentinels, so there's a lot to like there. Two, one. I need to confuse this guy right here. Come back here, buddy. I ain't done with you yet. There we go. Your first 50 on retail was a Dark Defender. Nice, nice. You refer the comics, Starfire? I haven't read a whole lot of the comics, so I have no point of comparison there. I'll take your word for it. I thought about doing like the DC subscription and reading through a lot of those. Whack with the foot. Just kick him with your foot. It's fine. Before the new 52? Yeah, the new 52 did not make a lot of people happy. Well, I don't read a lot of comics. Even I saw the headline on that one. It was it was not exactly a crowd pleaser, sadly for them. Oh, dude, I didn't realize there was someone behind me. Her roundhouse kick took him out, too. That's great. Oh, I love the martial arts feel of this Dominator. Oh, nice. That would be really nice. Yeah, X-Men and T-Titans would be a really good combination. Absolutely. So this is Symphony, and I really enjoyed a lot. I'm not even sure what my pet is there. Reverberant? Sometimes you have to like scream them to death. When DC killed off Supergirl, you're pissed. Yeah, well, you know, they kill them and they bring them back. They kill them and they bring them back. Yeah, nothing stays dead in comics anymore. That's one of the reasons I stopped watching. Or reading. Ah. Find the Gauntlet of Doom. Rescue Sky Dragon. Do you use XP play some other games? If you confuse enemies and said enemy kills enemy, do you use XP play? I think what you're meaning to ask is, does it change your XP gains? The answer is yes, but it depends on how much they do. So let's say your confused enemy does 50% damage to a different enemy that you finish off 50%, then you will get 80% of the XP. 80%. If you do at least 20 or 30% of the damage, you'll get 50%. Now, if you do 0% damage, you will get 0%. If the confused enemies do all the damage, then yeah, you will definitely get less. You will get 0 XP. So you want to make sure you do some damage, and you just want to be in there. Like, basically, you just want to be in there. As long as you're doing some, you're going to be fine. You're going to get a nice chunk of XP, so... I even went through one time on a stream and just broke it all down, and I think the vast majority of enemies was giving me 80-90% that were charms, so... And that one's all done. Yeah. Hey, Astros, how you doing today? Oh, I forgot to put up my Blue Lazuli artwork. No, we were doing a lot of different things tonight, and so it was mostly a solo, quiet night. I had to recharge my social batteries, especially since tomorrow I think we're doing some group activity. So, yeah. There's Lazuli. So there we go. There's a screamer. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know it's been a pretty quiet night of just chatting with chat and answering questions and doing stuff. So hopefully fun for everybody. How are you doing tonight, Astros? Doing good, doing good. Says a little about Daz. I was looking at a pyrotechnic control for Dominator control. That could work with the theme. Yeah, it sort of can, but let me just show you a little something about pyrotechnics and why that might get in the way of that. And then I definitely got to go to bed, definitely. So here's Cinder Flare, one of my favorite characters that I created with the new pyrotechnics they came out with. Right? I love Cinder Flare and whatnot. And yeah. Oh, your Texans lost? That's never good. Alright, so let me show you a little bit about Pyrotechnic Dominator. Sunshine's ready for some epic powers. Anyways. Let's grab her over here. Now, I'll tell you what I'm thinking of for a Dazzler character after this, but I don't think it's Pyro, and I'll show you why. So, Catherine Wheel is your pet. It's a little pet that comes forward and helps you along when someone gets launched in the air. Okay, so what Pyrotechnic Control does is it basically, what it does is wow, I really have the difficulty cranked up on this, don't I? Alright, so watch these enemies as they get blasted into the air. You get a lot of that blasting into the air stuff, and it doesn't quite feel like a Dazzler. Like, Dazzler isn't blasting people off into the air necessarily. And, yeah, it's really kind of weird from a Dazzler standpoint. This is definitely Jubilee, though. Like, if Jubilee's powers were actually decent, that's what this is. We've definitely aggroed too much here. I'm getting hammered left and right. Yeah, this difficulty's pretty high, and I'm in a room where everything's like surrounding the character, and you can't get like a good control down. ×4. Ooh, yeah, that's not gonna work. Maybe might be able to handle it if they weren't all yellow, orange, and red, but yeah, we'll put that to ×2. How about we try that? Foreign diplomat. All right, let's try that one instead. Now, while I'm going back there and trying to like pick up my dignity and go back there, I will tell you that probably the best I think I can come up with here is a Dominator that does illusion and energy blast, and color those energy blasts different colors. Now, really, laser lights from a Dazzler wouldn't punch something back, right? So you could change it to knockdown to simulate, hey, they just got punched in the gut with the lasers, they fall down rather than falling back, to kind of keep it more with the theme. But the energy blasty, for the most part, you know, might do the trick. There's a lot of laser rays looking things that are going into your enemies. And the more I talk about, the more I'm kind of like, well, I already have an illusion. I have an illusion. That's the villain I'm doing, right? The illusion mastermind dealio. and whatnot. But yeah, with this, you're getting a lot of pop up into the air. Now, the secondary on this is fire, so you're going to see a lot of things getting set on fire and blown up, and it works really good. This is definitely supposed to be like a real fire. This is like Jubilee if she was actually done right. And not the one constantly getting the X-Men into trouble and dying. The firework powers are a little harder to manage than some, I think, but overall pretty fun stuff. So usually you'll hit them with that first to get their attention, and then usually following up with another good control. But you see it always kind of pops up in the air, and I just realized my pet wasn't down. So a lot of the control you have is constantly popping them up in the air as they get blasted off. So that's my thoughts. I think you could do a Dazzler with Illusion and Energy Blast. We got a whole bunch of people there. I love that explosive bouquet right there. But you can see here, that was a pretty big group. And if you play your cards right, it's not too much of a problem. With fire as your secondary, you've got a couple of AoE options. And it definitely feels a bit more AoE than most other Dominator secondaries. So it feels pretty good, I think. I think this combo works pretty well, but it is not for new players or those easily frustrated when things don't pop off right. There's definitely more solid, predictable is probably a better word, power sets. This one's for people who like their lives a little spicy. Oh, he blew up good. Oh gosh, knockback. Don't like you, knockback. So yeah, I think it's pretty funny. I think the powers are really cool. I love the look of the. I like the sounds. I like the pop up. Like I said, it's not as solid as like when you're doing like dark and you fear them. You know they're going to be stuck there for exactly 15 seconds for the most part. Boom. Darn, Lieutenant, take that, and take that, and take that. But she does rock. She does get the job done, no doubt. Okay, guys. Well, I gotta get headed to bed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it very, very much. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. If the Lord's willing, I'll be around tomorrow night for our big group together. And yeah, I'll try to get some new videos up soon. But until next time, have a great evening, and may God bless you.